Chapter 526. Li Sun's letter was quickly delivered. He was now waiting for the imperial court to give him an order. He finally found an excuse not to go back. It was impossible for the imperial court to send a few more people here immediately. There was not enough time. This place was already under attack. How could they have the time to care about other things? Now Lu Zhou had 3,000 soldiers. Initially he said that he would have 4,000 soldiers. However, after several rounds of training, he eliminated the 1,000 soldiers who could not keep up. Now 3,000 soldiers were not a small number. After a few months of training, they were doing pretty well. It was not a big deal to fight a big battle, but it was not a problem to fight a small battle, especially when they were using good weapons to bully others. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also thought so. Although 3,000 people were not very useful when fighting the surrounding countries, it was not a problem when it came to that small place. There weren't many people there to begin with. Furthermore, there weren't any large organizations, and there weren't any good weapons. Not to mention 3,000 people, even 1,000 people would be able to do whatever they wanted there. In addition to Li Sun's guards and the Zhang family's 56 people, if they went there together, they would be able to bully the locals to death. After Li Sun sent the letter, he began to ask Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to take him to see the training of the 3,000 people. They could not wait to go there. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan naturally did not refuse. The group of people went to the barracks. On the way, they sighed with emotion. Lu Zhou finally had his own soldiers. The position of the military registrar could also be taken. He did not have to deal with so many things alone like before. That was too unstable. When the three of them arrived at the military camp's drill ground, they could hear the battle cries of the soldiers from afar. It sounded pretty good, but they didn't know if it would be as good as the battle cries. Out of the 3,000 people, 1,000 of them were originally from the mountain. Their formation wasn't very good, but if they were to really fight, the 1,000 of them could easily take care of the 2,000 people. Good, that's right. Train hard. The food we give you is so good, and you have a lot of money. If you don't train hard, you'll be letting down the food you eat. Li Sun stopped to watch from the side and also cheered. Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything, and Wang Wan also didn't say anything. The three of them watched for a while, and then Li Sun urged his horse over. No one knew what he was thinking, but at this time he began to mobilize his troops, telling the 3,000 people how the Great Tang had been attacked and how the Great Tang's territory had been occupied by others. Yet he was not honest. The 3,000 people did not care whether that place was Great Tang or not. As long as someone said it was. When they heard that someone had been beaten up, they immediately refused to do anything. They all begged to be ordered to attack that place. They had to kill those people. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan listened from the side, and were really speechless. This is why a weak country has no diplomacy. Only when it is strong can it not be bullied. More importantly, it has to maintain the courage of the people. As long as there is courage, even if it looks a little weak and has a small territory, others will not dare to attack it. Just like the mountain people here. Who dares to provoke them for no reason? They can't afford to pay the price. Zhang Xiaobao had a good impression of the people in this place. When it came to war, the men in the family were ready to go. They just needed to find an excuse. Wang Wan also thought so. A wolf without blood would not be able to beat a wild horse with blood. If one wanted others to respect them, then they had to have the strength and attitude to make others respect them. It was useless to always beg for peace. Peace was bought with blood. Xiaobao cuckoo, what happened? When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still lamenting, Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai came from behind. The two of them heard that 3 people had hurriedly rode to the barracks and felt that something was wrong. As soon as Old Man Chang arrived, he saw Li Sun saying something to the soldiers. It seemed a little inappropriate to go over now, so he could only ask Zhang Xiaobao and Old Man Pai. Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai are both here. In fact, it's not a big deal. It's just that a place in Great Tang has been occupied by some people from who knows where. Since they have occupied it, Great Tang naturally has to leave some place for them to live. But in the end, after we treated them well, our people went over. Guess what happened? They actually dared to attack our people, and caused 2 of our people to be seriously injured. Zhang Xiaobao was now adamant that that place belonged to the great Tang. In any case, no one would say otherwise. When the time came, he would just continue to occupy it. It was just like the current Tang dynasty. How could the Central Plains be as big as it was now? Wasn't it still under siege? Are there really people who are seriously injured? Old Man Pai asked with concern. He knew where the so-called place of Great Tang was. It seemed that they had really found it. This was really great. Wang Wan said at the side. Grandpa Bai, they are really seriously injured. Both of their arms are injured, and one of them is injured on the leg. This is not the most important part. The most important part is that their hearts are hurt the most. The two of them just went over there and took our good things to try to exchange with their bad things. Grandpa Bai, don't you think our things are good? But the people on their side actually attacked the two of us who came with good intentions. After the two of them were beaten up, they could not understand why kind people were always hurt. Their dreams at night were always nightmares, and they were often jolted awake in their dreams. Grandpa Bai, the people on their side are really too evil. They clearly treat our kindness as weakness. In a situation where there was no other way, our people were forced to fight back. Fortunately, our people had the determination to fight to the death after being bullied, so we beat them back. But after all, we haven't been there for many years. The local people don't recognize us, so we had to come back with our tails between our legs. Xiaobao, is this what you mean? Yes, it's like this. After Marquis Li Sun knew about this, he couldn't sit still. After all, young Master Li is a member of the royal family. He has to protect the people under his rule. How can he let a strong enemy bully him? That's why he came to this place and prepared to send some troops over there to let the people over there know whose territory it is, what they should do in the future, and what. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, you two don't need to say any more. I know. So that's how it is. It's really unreasonable. Old Man Pai interrupted Zhang Xiaobao's impassioned speech and echoed. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were satisfied. Old Man Chang really didn't know what to say. After listening to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's words, he understood that the two sent out the troops to look for trouble. At first, they said that they were going to do some business, but now they were going to fight. Li Sun was not someone who was easy to deal with. He found an excuse and started to mobilize the soldiers here. The soldiers here had just reported to the higher-ups, but the higher-ups probably did not know. After all, the soldiers here had to be trained to look like soldiers before they could be called soldiers. It had just been 6 days since the news was sent out. As such, the current Li Sun would be able to bring the soldiers to war, and the imperial court would not be able to pursue the matter. After all, Li Sun had taken the soldiers away before they were fully formed. Old Man Chang pulled Old Man Pai to the side and said to Old Man Pai, "What should we do? See, the Zhang family has a lot of thoughts. They didn't go there to make a deal. They clearly went there to take over the things. If the imperial court knows about this, what will they say? What will they say if the imperial court knows? That's the Tang Empire's territory. Our people were hurt in the Tang Empire's territory, so we naturally have to send troops. Isn't Li Sun already prepared for this?" Old Man Pai said to Old Man Chang. His meaning was very clear. He wanted the Tang Empire's people to go there, take over the place, and make it their own. As for what other people said, they didn't care. At worst, they could just kill the local people or move them to other places. After many years, people would know that it was a piece of land of the Tang Empire. When Old Man Chang heard Old Man Pai's words, he understood Old Man Pai's plan. He sighed and said, "I'm not worried about this. Even if we take over the place, when the time comes, the Zhang family will expand to other places. Do we have to take over every place they expand? If that's the case, we won't have enough people on our side. We can't just take over the place and not send people to guard it, right? Do we have to send the people here over? No, we can't send the people of this place over. All the people who go there have to be replaced within a few years. If we send the people over, who knows if the people there will still recognize the Great Tang? If they really do suddenly establish a country, this place will be beyond our reach." When Old Man Pai heard that they had to send the people to other places, he immediately rejected it. They definitely couldn't send people there, especially in an ignorant place. The local people didn't know what was going on. If the people here went there, it was likely that they would first fight with the local people. After fighting for a while, they would realize that there wasn't much benefit to it. Moreover, if there was a war here, the people there would likely have other thoughts. If that's the case, then we'll think of a way in the future. The main thing is that the ship's speed is too slow. It takes a long time to go and return. If something really happens over there, we won't be able to get there in time. No, we have to let Xiao Bao and Cuckoo talk to their families. Otherwise, even if we know the place, it will be useless. When Old Man Chang saw that Old Man Pai was starting to worry, he immediately mentioned telling the Zhang family. The two of them talked about a few more things before returning to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Old Man Chang said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, after your family found that island, will they continue to look for other places?" "Other places? Not for the time being. Grandpa Zhang, that place is not small. Don't think that we can go there now. If we want to occupy that place, it is impossible without tens of thousands of soldiers. My family now wants to manage that place well. We can't care about other places. We have to eat one bite at a time." Zhang Xiaobao understood. The two of them were afraid that when the time came, they would keep looking for new places. If that happened, the Tang Dynasty wouldn't have enough soldiers. Even if they had, they wouldn't be able to send them. What was the point of sending them there? Was it to kill a few people and come back? The place was big, the population was small, and the battle line was too long. It was easy to be attacked. That was why he told them part of the plan. When Old Man Chang heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he was temporarily relieved. However, he was very curious about that place. What did it look like? What did the people look like? What were the specialties? These were all things that he had to find out first. The most important thing was how big that place was. He signaled Old Man Pai with his eyes. The Old Man Pai came out and asked, "Xiao Bao, is there anything good in that place? Is it big?" "Good things." "Yes, the people who went this time brought back some things. I'll show them to Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai later. There are so many things, and many of them are things that we need. I don't know how big that place is, but there are many islands between our place and that place. If we can reclaim that place, the islands in the middle will be ours as well. We can learn from Lu Zhou and build a lighthouse there. Also, we can find a bigger island and build better houses there. We can provide help to the fishermen in the distant sea." Zhang Xiaobao thought for a moment, and told them the things that he planned to mention later. This time, he did not go into details, especially about what would happen in the future. He did not tell Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai. "Yes, Grandpa Bai, that place is great. There seems to be a lot of gold there. Gold and other local specialties. If we don't want them, we'll give them to others, especially the minerals. After they're mined, they won't appear again. Our family is thinking of using force to force the people who live in our place to work for us. When the minerals are mined, we'll send them here. We can bury them and keep them for our descendants to use in the future. We can also take them out now. That way, we don't need to touch the minerals here. We can keep them for our descendants. Also, they have a lot of food, just like Lei Province and Ye Province. We can let the local people grow the crops and bring them here to eat, feed the livestock, and make wine. We don't need the people to do this. Think about it, they live in our place. How can they not work for us? They're like farmers. Are farmers who don't work still farmers?" Wang Wan also chimed in at this time. The two old men were speechless when they heard her mention our place. What kind of people are they? It's fine if the adults are like this, but the two children are also learning from the adults. The locals are sad. The two looked at each other again. This time they didn't say anything. In their hearts, they understood that the Zhang family would never give up that place. Since that was the case, they would wait for Li Sun to attack that place first. Then they would let the imperial court send people to guard it. Just like what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said, they would change people every once in a while. Since it's like this, then you can continue to stay here. I'll go back with your Grandpa Zhang to rest." Seeing that there was nothing else for him to do, the Old Man Pai said goodbye and left. As soon as the two left the drill ground, they got on the carriage and asked the driver to slow down. They still had to discuss things. "There's actually gold over there. And it seems like there are other things too. This time's harvest is not small. But why do I feel like the Zhang family already knew about it? Look at their preparations. They just happened to go over there to deal with other people. Old Man Pai leaned against the carriage and said this to Old Man Chang. After that, he ordered the driver to go to the docks to see what was there. Old Man Chang also had the same feeling. From the things prepared by the Zhang family's fleet, it was indeed so. They must have gotten the news from somewhere. But that didn't seem right. How long has it been since the Zhang family arrived here? Could it be that a fisherman accidentally went over there? How could that be? How long would it take to go and return? What kind of boat would a fisherman have? They would have long capsized in the water. It didn't make sense. After pondering for a while, Old Man Chang said, I also think so. But if we ask them, there's nothing we can do if they don't admit it. It seems like we can only wait. If they are more familiar with things over there, maybe it can explain some problems. Yes, I think they are eyeing all kinds of things in that place. Otherwise, they wouldn't be like this. And those people from the Jiangnan East Road. When did the Zhang family become so generous? They actually let them not pay for it, and let them lend their ships to do business. After they arrived here, they didn't try to lower the price and even let their ships not carry the same things. Do you think the Zhang family is scheming against the merchants from the Jiangnan East Road? This won't do. We can't mess up over there. Once something happens, many places will be affected. We have to ask them carefully. The Jiangnan East Road's merchants are at the docks here. We can ask them together. Old Man Pai agreed with Old Man Chang's words. At the same time, he also mentioned the merchants. If it was someone else, it wouldn't be a big deal. People would think that it was the right thing to do. But the Zhang family was not so simple. They could always connect many things together. Yes, connecting them together. Old Man Pai thought of this and suddenly said, Do you think the merchants from the Jiangnan East Road have anything to do with that newly discovered place? The Zhang family's actions shouldn't be simple, right? Yes, that makes sense. Let's go and ask. If it doesn't work, we'll wait for Li Sun to send troops and see what the result is. I don't think the Zhang family will hide it forever. After Old Man Chang finished speaking, he began to ask the driver to hurry up. The more they knew about this kind of thing in advance, the more time they had to prepare. Li Sun was still instigating on the drill ground. The 3,000 soldiers had long been fired up by his words. One by one, they clamored to teach others a lesson. Li Sun also shouted with all his might. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan watched from the side. They felt a little helpless. At the same time, they were curious. The two of them didn't seem to have taught Li Sun this kind of thing. How did he know? Could this be talent? If so, then Li Sun should be suitable to be a general, not a rich man. When the time came, he would be able to come in handy. Or maybe he could be an instructor or something. Very interesting. It seems that Li Sun can also be cultivated. Look at what he's saying now. Good, very good. Let's go somewhere else. By the time we come back, he'll probably be able to select 1,000 people. Fortunately, the fleet came back in time. Otherwise, it would be easy for things to go wrong. Zhang Xiaobao said a few words and turned his horse to go somewhere else. He was very glad that the fleet came back early. Otherwise, once the imperial court knew about the army here and arranged for a clerk to come over, it wouldn't be easy to mobilize the army. Now that everything was under the control of his father, no one would say anything else. Even if the army was sent, it would be very normal. Moreover, this army had not been recognized by the imperial court. If they really investigated, they would say that the local people spontaneously went to fight. Li Sun continued to instigate. When he saw that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had left, he felt that it was about time to start the competition. As long as 1,000 people went, those who wanted to go had to be within the top 1,000. The soldiers immediately began to compete. Li Sun found a person and asked him to watch. As long as 1,000 people were chosen, he rode his horse and chased after Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Li Sun caught up to Zhang Xiaobao and turned his head to ask, Xiaobao, did you not use that firework this time? Good, I brought it. Do you want to go with me? What do you mean go with you? You can't go. You're just a symbol. What if there's danger? When Zhang Xiaobao heard Li Sun's words, He immediately poured cold water on his head. How could he let him go? Wouldn't that be troublesome? Li Sun was stunned for a moment. He stared at Zhang Xiaobao to see if he was lying. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao's serious expression, he nodded and said, I know. I just can't go, right? No, I have to go. I have to fight with my people. Even if there is danger, I have to go. Otherwise, am I still a member of the imperial family? Then you go by yourself. No one will stop you. Anyway, the others on my side won't go. Zhang Xiaobao saw that Li Sun was still there, and could only use threats. Only my 200 people will go. What if they have more people? Well, I won't go personally this time. But I have to go to Yazhou and wait. I have to know the news first. Li Sun thought about it. It was really dangerous there. If he died, yes, he died. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wen usually said that. If he died, then he wouldn't be able to do good things for the people in his fief. Chapter 527. Knowing that he couldn't go in person, Li Sun's enthusiasm decreased. He had been thinking about this for a while, but now that he had put it down, he suddenly had a new goal. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, I've been studying how to educate children recently, and I've learned a lot. Therefore, I feel that I should do my part for the children of Tang Dynasty. I've decided to start with your own children. Don't try to teach our younger siblings. Before Li Sun could finish, Zhang Xiaobao interrupted him. He knew what Li Sun wanted to do. Of course he couldn't. He and Cuckoo had to teach them. Don't disagree. I promise that I'll teach them the 1,000-character classic by the age of 2, simple mathematics by the age of 3, and there's no need. Our younger siblings won't do this. Is it so easy to be a child prodigy? I'll be satisfied if they can go out and walk around by themselves at the age of 2. If you want to find children to teach, you can have them yourself. You're old enough to have a fief. Xiaobao disagreed even more. Learning the 1,000-character classic at the age of 2 was something that he didn't need Li Sun to teach him. He could do it himself. He could just make it into the game. A child's memory was very good. If they were smart, they would be able to remember the things that they were curious about. But what was the use of that? Unless they were born knowing the 1,000-character classic, then it would be the same as him and Cuckoo. Otherwise, their childhood would be gone. If he and Cuckoo didn't have the mentality of an adult, they wouldn't study so hard. With him and Cuckoo supporting the family, they could let their younger siblings live a more comfortable life. They could learn when they were older, play more when they were young, and develop their brains. When they were 5 or 6 years old, they could see what they liked. They could take all kinds of things in front of them and teach them what they liked. They didn't have to be a high-ranking official. They just had to be outstanding in a certain field. Yes, they had to be outstanding, and they couldn't be bad. They could choose, but they had to be good. Except for high IQ, they were all the same. As long as they chose something they liked and were willing to work hard, it was impossible for them not to succeed. Besides, they had Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family behind them. Li Sun saw that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't agree, so he said helplessly, "When I have children, I'll let them learn the 1,000-character classic at the age of 2. You 2 sisters, then you can marry them to my son." "Ah. My younger brother and sister are already taken. You don't have to worry about that." Zhang Xiaobao continued to deny. "What do you think my sisters are?" "Then I have a daughter to marry your younger brother." Li Sun still didn't give up. "We don't want that either. Our younger brother can only marry one, not one more." Zhang Xiaobao also decided on this matter. Li Sun curled his lips. "Then don't think of your family becoming a big family. You have to have more children. If you only marry one, people will laugh at you." "My father only has one mother. Will anyone laugh at my father? He is the top scholar in the Jinshi examination, a 4th-grade official under the age of 30, and a provincial governor. Who will laugh at him? My mother is still young. At most, she can have 2 more." Zhang Xiaobao retorted. "You can't control your younger siblings. You have to listen to your father. When the time comes, he has to do what I tell him. You really don't need me to teach you? I'm very good." Li Sun still didn't give up. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't say much. Anyway, the 2 of them had already decided. When the time came, they would slowly teach him. What was the point of marrying so many wives? He spent all his energy on women. What else could he do? The two of them walked in front. Li Sun was still thinking about his younger siblings. Suddenly he said, Xiaobao Cuckoo, if your younger siblings were like you, they would be sensible from a young age. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other. Wang Wan's mouth moved. In a while, let's go and take a look. What if there are more people coming? It's best if they study physics or chemistry. A PhD is good. If there is someone from the Academy of Science, even if he studies mathematics, at least he can calculate the trajectory of a missile. Yes, we must take a look. If they are from China, it's fine. But what if they are from other countries? Let's go back and take a look. Zhang Xiaobao also quivered. He turned his horse and galloped back. Wang Wan followed. Li Sun was stunned for a while. He didn't know what was going on with the two of them. He thought for a while and shouted, I won't go back. I'm going to take a look at my soldiers. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan rushed back as fast as they could. As soon as they entered the door, they rushed straight to the crib. The four little guys were lying there side by side. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan came to the crib. They didn't make a sound and just sat there to carefully observe the four little guys. The four little guys were sleeping very soundly. Each of them had small arms and legs. Their little hands were half clenched into fists. Their wrinkled little mouths and noses were moving. It was indescribably fun. How do you see? Wang Wan's lips moved. How did you see through me back then? Zhang Xiaobao replied. At that time they could speak. Although their words were not clear because of air leakage, they can't speak. It's better to get some copper coins or something. Wang Wan's idea was to get something that could reflect the dynasty, and then secretly observe the four little guys. If any one of them was interested in everything around them, then it would explain something. Just like her and Xiaobao, the first thing they did when they came here was to confirm their identity. Then they would check the environment. From the layout of the table and the Kaiyuan Tongbao used, they knew that it was in the Tang Dynasty. There was also the clothes on the servant girls. It was impossible to bring the two of them to act. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and specially arranged it. Then he prepared the milk bottles, waiting to feed the four little guys milk. From their actions, it could be seen that if it was someone like them, their first reaction would be to feel uncomfortable and not instinctively suck, unless that person was more powerful than them. The two of them didn't wait for too long before the four little guys reacted. The youngest, Zhang Xiaobao's sister, cried. When she cried, the other three woke up. Two of them cried, and one of them opened his eyes curiously and tried to look to the side. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's attention immediately turned to Wang Wan's brother, who didn't cry. After a while the three little guys cried, but the little guy laughed and giggled. What are you laughing at? Zhang Xiaobao moved his head closer and asked, his eyes staring unblinkingly at Wang Wan's younger brother. He gestured to the servant girl at the side, telling her not to worry about him for now. Chapter 528. After Zhang Xiaobao finished his question, he gently placed his hand on the little girl's neck, feeling for her pulse. Wang Wan added 2 more languages, but the little girl continued to look at them curiously. Her eyes darted around, trying to raise her little hand to touch Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head regretfully. He couldn't see anything wrong with the little guy's eyes. The change in the little guy's pupils, the same eyelids, the expression on the little guy's face and breathing were all normal. Wang Wan also sighed. The two of them really wanted a powerful younger brother or sister. That way, they could save a lot of effort. If they were from the same generation as them, even if they were a street thug, it would be fine. Unfortunately, this hope was dashed. Wang Wan changed the urinal pad for the little girl who was the first to cry. Then, she touched the other 2 little guys who were crying. The 3 little guys stopped crying. They opened their eyes and looked at the world curiously. Watch carefully. It's fine now. I was just watching. Zhang Xiaobao said to the servant girl, then pulled Wang Wan out of the room. Looking at the 4 little ancestors, there were a total of 5 servant girls. Each servant girl was responsible for 1 child. And the last one was responsible for delivering messages. It could be said that the protection was to the extreme. Seeing the young master and young lady leave, the 5 servant girls looked at each other. One of them said in surprise in a small voice, "Did you see that? Just now, the young master and young lady used 11 different languages to talk to the young master of the Wang family. Why did it sound so messy to me? I couldn't make out what they were saying." Another servant girl shook her head. "That's because you don't know. I've only heard one of them. It was said by those foreign monks. Since that was the case, the other 8 shouldn't be wrong either." Amazing, right? It's a pity that the young master of the Wang family didn't understand. I reckon that there were immortals among them. If the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang families had 4 more little immortals, then, stop dreaming. It's already a miracle that 2 of them can come out. For more? Another maidservant said. The 5 maidservants started a new round of discussion around this topic. They were really too bored, but they couldn't ignore the 4 little ancestors. Not a single one. There's no hope now, and there's no need to worry. Those 11 languages basically include almost all the languages in the world, unless it's a special place. Moreover, they don't use the common language. I'm really afraid that a foreigner will appear. Tell me, should I keep them or kill them? Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan out, looked up at the sky, and said after letting out a long breath, "Of course keep them. Unless they encounter a race like the Jews, there's no need to worry. They can always betray, especially those former colonial countries. Their history is too short, and they don't have a foundation. They can only rely on radical methods to advance. They only have a country but not a race. There's no need to worry about such people." Wang Wan expressed her opinion. Zhang Xiaobao thought about it and nodded. For those countries, there's still a long way to go. They need to create their own history. Let's go and have a look at the docks. Just now we were in a hurry to send out troops, so we don't know what good things they brought back. In fact, what I want most is oil and natural gas, as well as some rare earths and some rare radioactive materials. If I can't use them myself, I can leave them for my descendants. Do you know the principle of gasoline engines? We can use alcohol instead. I can't make such pure gasoline. If you want to use alcohol, why don't you make a simple hot air balloon? It's like a large Kongming lantern. You can change the material, and it can fly people up. There shouldn't be any good food crops in Luzon right now. If you want, it's best to go to Africa and occupy Liujia first." When Wang Wan heard the gasoline engine, she immediately rejected it. If she could make that thing, she would make a steam engine first. The principle was simple, and it was just a junior high school knowledge. The problem was that the materials were not easy to find. Whether it was a steam engine, a diesel engine, or a gasoline engine, they all needed to be sealed. In the absence of rubber, other sealing methods were not so good. The 2 of them chatted and left. It was impossible to stop plundering resources. The heavy burden of maintaining world peace was not something the 2 of them could shoulder, so it was better to leave it to others. Li Sun's actions were not slow. After the letter was sent out, 1,000 people were selected. A portion of the people who went last time followed them, and formed a fleet of 10 ships. Once again, they left Qinzhou Bay's pier and headed for the other side of the sea. This time, the ships were loaded with silk. The clothes worn by the people over there were too poor. As such, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ordered people to buy the cheapest silk and many low-quality jars. They sent them all together to trade with the locals. Although the goods were not good here, they were treasures over there. Li Sun stood at the pier and waved his hand continuously. It was as if the fleet had taken away his soul. "Young Master Li, it's better for you to write a supplementary document and send it to the higher-ups. This won't do for now. Oh right, you should also choose a few things that you brought back this time and send them to the higher-ups, especially that gold mine. They will support you when they see it." Chapter 529. The wind blew fiercely, and the rain continued to fall. "Father, are we going to die here?" A trembling voice came from the darkness amidst the heavy rain. Lightning flashed, and under the waves, there was a small fishing boat with 2 people on it. A naked and small man held onto the side of the boat tightly and looked at the sky in fear. The rain flowed down his cheeks. The other person was silent. He held the oar in his hand and swept and pushed against the incoming waves. The boat directly used this force to retreat a distance, and was not overturned by the waves. At this time, the person rowing the boat wiped his face and said, "Little Tao, don't be afraid. The waves will push us to the shore." "Yes, push to the shore. Father, if I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have taken the risk to come here." After saying this, the person called Little Tao took a deep breath. Just as he held his breath, another wave fell. The older person used the same method to push the boat away. He wiped his face with his hand and said to his son, "Little Tao, I misunderstood. Little Tao, I was wrong. If I didn't want to rely on your swimming ability to get more jiaxiang, why would I bring you to a place so far away from the island? Father has harmed you. No matter how good I am at swimming, it's useless." Another wave hit, and the boat repeated the previous step. There seemed to be no danger, but the father knew that he had no strength left. He was pushed away by the wind and waves. He didn't know where he had run to. He had left the range of the island and could only rely on the real shore. There was no hope at all. "Father, I don't blame Father. If I didn't come out to get armor, how could I find a wife for brother? I just miss Mother. If Mother knows that something happened to me and Father, she will be very sad. Father, don't move, we can't run away. Save some strength, I will take you back later. The further we can swim, the better. What if we can survive?" While speaking, Little Tao encountered another wave. Under the light of the lightning, he saw that his father's movements had become stiff. He gritted his teeth and said with determination, "As a father, how could he be willing to drag his son down?" He squeezed out a smile and said, "Little Tao, when I can't hold on anymore, you can swim by yourself. I hope you can survive. Don't worry about me. It's a pity that with your ability, you can fish up a fragrant shell from 300 feet into the water. You shouldn't have encountered such a storm. No, if we're leaving, we'll leave together. We'll survive, and we'll be able to get even more armor and sense." Xiao Tao couldn't run by himself. He didn't care about his father. In fact, even if he ran by himself, he might not be able to escape. It was peaceful underwater, but he had to come up to take a breath. After a few breaths, he would be exhausted. Splash! A wave came crashing down from the undulating surface of the sea. The small boat could no longer retreat. The entire boat was immediately overturned. The father had no strength left. He fell into the water and disappeared without a trace. The moment the boat capsized, Little Tao took a deep breath and plunged his head into the water. His body twisted a few times like a fish and he grabbed his father. His legs kicked at the same time and his two heads popped out of the water. "Father, let's go home. In a while, I'll exert strength in my hand and you'll hold your breath." Little Tao grabbed his father's arm and shouted. He immediately exerted strength in his hand. His father also held his breath. Little Tao took his father and plunged back into the water. The wave swept past the previous position. When the wave came, the two heads popped out again. They struggled to swim in the direction of the wave. That should be the shore. Every time a wave came, the two people would dive into the water. It wasn't that they wouldn't be affected by the current, but they were afraid of being caught by the floating things on the water. Even if it was a rotten fish, the bones could cut a big hole in their body. They didn't know how long they had been swimming. When the father saw many bright spots in front of his eyes, his whole body was cold. He knew that he couldn't hold on any longer. He weakly said to his son, "Let go of me. Swim back. Go back alive." "I don't want to. I'll take you back with me." Little Tao stubbornly pulled his father and continued to swim. To be able to persist for such a long time in such weather, even the bare-handed fisherman in the Yellow River would feel ashamed. However, in the face of the power of heaven and earth, no matter how great one's ability was, it was useless. As he swam, Little Tao didn't think about anything else. He only moved mechanically. Even the frequency of his breathing was completely based on instinct. Just when he was about to give up, he suddenly saw a light flash in front of him. He thought it was an illusion, but the light didn't disappear. It was always there. Little Tao's eyes lit up. He thought that he had met someone. That meant that they were about to reach the shore. His body seemed to have regained its strength. He exerted all his strength to swim towards the light. Lightning flashed from time to time. In a trance, Little Tao found that the place seemed to be where a reef was. He didn't care so much. A reef was good. He could rest on it and wait for his father to recover before thinking of a solution. It looked close, but it wasn't that simple to swim over. Little Tao stared. He only thought of swimming to that place. He didn't even care if the waves carried something that could hurt people. Old Wang, what are you looking at in the middle of the night? There's no ship coming. It's been 10 days. There should have been a ship coming to deliver something to us, but it met with a huge storm. It seems that we have to wait until tomorrow or the day after. In a lighthouse furthest from Qinzhou Bay, a person was holding a clairvoyance and looking at the sea. Another person was sitting beside a stove and roasting fish. The person roasting the fish had just finished roasting a fish. He passed it to the person holding the clairvoyance and said, "How can we not take a good look? What if there's a ship coming? I asked you to look at the light just now, but you actually fell asleep. If a good official finds out, you can forget about your job in the future. When it's your turn, you can go back and say it yourself. If you wait for me to say it, then it's a different matter." Old Wang turned his head and took the fish. He gave the person roasting the fish a warning. "Uncle Wang, I won't dare to do it again. Can you not say it? It's just the two of us here. No one else knows." The person roasting the fish was really scared. He was in charge of cooking and looking at the light. In the end, he fell asleep at night when the light was most needed. "You don't want to say it? That won't do. You can say it yourself. Be careful in the future. You won't be punished. If you don't say it this time, you can still fall asleep next time. Quick, help me see if there's anyone in the water." Lao Wang didn't discuss anything at all. Just as he was speaking, he suddenly saw two people swimming towards them under the light of the lightning. How can there be anyone? He should have drowned long ago. The person roasting the fish impatiently came over. If he didn't need help, he wouldn't have cared. He took the clairvoyance and looked at the water. It was pitch black and there was nothing. Just as he was about to continue roasting the fish, another flash of lightning appeared. "Uncle Wang, quick, go and save him. That kid is still swimming and can't hold on any longer. He's sinking more than floating, and he's bringing someone with him." After the person roasting the fish shouted, he threw the clairvoyance aside and started to put on a life vest. For those who care about this book, take a look at the following. For the past half a month, I've been affected by various things. My body is a little tired and my mind is a little uncomfortable. I've entered the fatigue period. I feel that the quality of the chapters one write has dropped. Can everyone help me see if this is the case? Today's chapter is an adjustment. I'm preparing to restore the quality of this chapter, or even better. Also, I'm following the outline and feel that there's a lack of passion. Reading my own book as an author will make me feel bored. After all, I already know the plot. Therefore, I need everyone's help now. You can add Q to the top group in the introduction section. You can tell me how you feel recently so that I can adjust. Thank you. If not, the quality of this book will be finished. Chapter 530. There were spacious rooms in the new bamboo building. There was a huge courtyard outside that was divided into a front and backyard. There was also a barn next to the courtyard. There were flocks of ducks in the courtyard, just like Luzhou. The weather was getting colder. There were a few blankets and a small charcoal stove. Meat porridge was cooking on the stove. A thick aroma wafted out. It was not fish porridge but pork porridge. It was freshly slaughtered pigs. It smelled good. Lil Tao, who was lying on the floor, smacked his lips. He stuck his tongue out and licked his lips. He kept saying, "Smells good. Get up and have some if you think it smells good." Where did this come from? The person in charge of cooking in the lighthouse brought a bowl of porridge to Lil Tao and nudged him. When Lil Tao opened his eyes, Wei Wei was still in a daze. There was no bamboo building or courtyard in front of him. The flocks of ducks he heard from others were nowhere to be seen. There was only a slightly plump person looking at him with a smile on his face. Where am I? Why am I here? Lil Tao seemed to have forgotten what happened before he woke up. He asked in a slightly hoarse voice. You fell into the water, and we fished you out. You're quite lucky, young man. It's a dark night, and it's stormy and windy. If old Wang wasn't here, we would have found 2 floating corpses tomorrow morning. The cook explained patiently to Lil Tao. Lil Tao was stunned for a moment before he finally remembered what happened. Yes, he was swimming in the sea with his father. He only remembered there was a house in front of him with lights on. After that, he saw two people swimming toward him. They were good swimmers. They did not sink at all. After that, he lost all his strength. Where's my father? Where's my father? Is he here? When Lil Tao regained his senses, the first thing that came to his mind was his father's safety. He's here. He's here. Is that person your father? Don't worry, he's still alive. I think he's a little old and tired. He's sleeping over there, and hasn't woken up yet. Drink the porridge when you wake up. After that, stay with your father. I'm going to sleep for a while. Cook placed the bowl of porridge on the floor and pushed it in front of Little Tao. He yawned and laid down on the floor in the most comfortable position to fall asleep. Lao Wang, who had taken turns to sleep at night, got up at this moment. He used his clairvoyance to scan the surface of the sea. He sat by the window and said to Xiao Tao, "You guys were lucky to be able to make it here last night. Don't think about other things. Just rest well. It's good that you guys are here. The boat can be rebuilt." Lao Wang could tell at a glance that the two of them were fishermen. Their boat must have been overturned at night. There was no need to say how important a boat was to a fisherman's family. He was just afraid that the two of them would take things too hard. Xiao Tao did feel a little heartache for the boat, but he didn't particularly care. A person who was about to die had actually come back to life. At most, he would go into the water to fish for more armor, and let his father fish on the shore. His brother would also help out a little. After 2 months, he would be able to get another boat. Nodding gratefully at the unknown person at the window, Xiao Tao came to his father's side and carefully looked at him. Seeing that he was really fine, he was relieved. Enduring the soreness all over his body, he picked up the bowl to test whether it was hot or cold. He drank a mouthful, letting the fragrance of the meat fill his mouth. A happy expression appeared on his face. This uncle, you and another uncle's family live here?" Xiao Tao, who couldn't bear to finish the porridge in one gulp, licked his lips and asked. Lao Wang was still guarding his post. Using his clairvoyance eye, he looked at the boring and monotonous sea and asked, "You don't know about the lighthouse?" "I don't know. What's a lighthouse? The name of the village? My father and I came here from An's province, and we found a large island in the middle of the sea. We built a small house on the island, and we were able to search for places with armor incense around the island. I swam down to dig, and 30 copper coins worth of armor incense can be exchanged for a copper coin. After just 3 days of digging, I was blown away by the wind." Xiao Tao's eyes looked outside the window. As he spoke, his expression changed. It was yearning, regret, and finally relief. "It's all thanks to Uncle and Uncle for saving me and my father. Otherwise, this family would be finished. Uncle, looking at this place, it seems that life isn't good. Wait until I get more armor, then I'll change a house for Uncle." Xiao Tao knew how to be grateful. Seeing that the place where the two of them slept didn't seem to be that good, he wanted to build a house for them in the future. As he spoke, his hand brought the bowl of porridge to his mouth. Looking at the meat inside, he was stunned. Only then did he feel that something was wrong. If life was really not good, why would he use a porcelain bowl? Why would he make meat porridge for himself? Rice porridge was enough. Uncle, you and this uncle don't seem to have a bad life. Ha ha ha, young man, it's enough that you have this kind of heart. You don't have to think about repaying me all day long. It's enough as long as you lead a good life. There's good yellow wine in the jar at the side. Heat it up and drink it. You must be tired last night, right? Lao Wang knew what the young man was thinking. He smiled kindly and pointed at the jar at the side without turning his head. Xiao Tao nodded and then shook his head. His mouth was half open. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. Lao Wang's eyes were on the sea, but his mouth was useless. Since he had nothing to do, he said to Xiao Tao, 30 armor incense for 1 copper coin. It's a little too little. In Luzhou, it depends on the quality. If 30 armor incense is of high grade, countless people will fight for 100 copper coins, let alone 1 copper coin. If you sell it to Luzhou's specialty company, you can get 120 copper coins. Xiao Tao was stunned. It seemed that he could not believe that armor incense could be sold for so much money. After dozens of breaths, he asked tentatively, "Uncle, do you know?" "Yes, I'm from Luzhou. How can I not know? I guard the lighthouse and guide the ships that come and go. I know where are the reefs and rapids in this area. I get paid 30 copper coins a day. The Chamber of Commerce will take care of it. As long as the ships within sight of the lighthouse can receive help. It's not considered a dereliction of duty. It's my duty to save you last night, so you don't have to thank the two of us. If you want to thank someone, thank Provincial Governor Zhang of Luzhou. In the future, when you're fishing or armor incense, if you're tired and don't have a place to rest, you can come to the lighthouse to have a look. Drink some hot water and have a meal. It's free." Lao Wang's voice was not loud, but it sounded like thunder in Xiao Tao's ears. "Uncle, if you don't want money, aren't you just throwing money in? What is the lighthouse?" Xiao Tao still did not know what the lighthouse represented. "The lighthouse is a home. It's a warm home for those who set sail. As long as you see the lighthouse, you're home. You don't have to be so polite with your family. Drink up, there's more in the pot. When your Uncle Little Stone wakes up, I'll make you something good to eat. There'll be some vegetables. I'll make some vinegar and cabbage. As for the money from the lighthouse, it's taken from the people and used by the people. A small portion of the people from other provinces sell their things to Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce. That money is enough to support the lighthouse. Home." Xiao Tao felt that he had regained some of his strength. He finished the bowl of meat porridge in one gulp before it turned cold. He stood up and walked to another window. He inhaled deeply and hastily took a few steps back. He stared into the distance in a daze. "It's too high. No wonder I can see so far. I see. Uncle, is this lighthouse specially prepared by Luzhou for those who set sail?" "Yes, it's prepared for those who set sail. There's not just one lighthouse. If we count from here, there are a total of 200 lighthouses. There are 15 big ones like the one we're in. The rest are small lighthouses. It'll take more than half a month to travel from here to Luzhou. How can there be so few lighthouses?" Old Wang found someone to talk to and began to introduce the lighthouses in detail. The more Xiao Tao listened, the more surprised he became. When Old Wang was almost done, Xiao Tao sighed and lowered his head. His voice was soft as he said, "If Ansi province can be like this, my father and I wouldn't have almost lost our lives last night. In the past, I've always heard Luzhou's people talk about how good Luzhou is. I've tried my best to think about it. Now I know I haven't thought about it enough." Xiao Tao envied Luzhou's people. At the same time, he felt sad. They were all near the sea. Why was it that Luzhou's people were protected when they went out to sea to fish, but he had nothing here? Home as expected of home. Within the range of 200 lighthouses, he did not have to worry about anything. He could just focus on fishing. If he was hungry, he could just look for a lighthouse and have a hot meal. On the other hand, when he went out to sea, he would bring along some steamed rice and some vegetable leaves. When he arrived at sea, he would just roll them up and eat them. It was fine when the weather was cold, but when it was hot, the food would go bad, and there would be a sour taste in his mouth. "If only I was born in Luzhou," Xiao Tao muttered under his breath. Xiao Tao muttered. When he raised his head, he suddenly realized that there were two boats that were much larger than fishing boats approaching. He immediately shouted to Old Wang, "Uncle, boats, boats, big boats. There are big boats coming. Are they coming here to eat?" Old Wang could not see them from his angle. When he heard Xiao Tao's words, he quickly climbed up the ladder at the side. When he was at the top, he could see the surroundings clearly. He only stuck his head out and looked in that direction. As he climbed down, he said, "Don't worry about it. They're here to deliver daily necessities to us. There's meat, vegetables, and ice. After that, they'll go to other places to patrol." Luzhou. Patrol? Patrol for what? Xiao Tao looked back and became even more curious. If they encounter boats from other places or fishing boats at sea, they'll go and take care of it. There's nothing wrong now, but when more fishing boats go out in the future and have conflicts with fishing boats from other places, the patrol boats will go over. Yes, that's what the good official said. Old Wang seemed very proud when he said this. Xiao Tao nodded to show that he understood. "I know. If there's a conflict with fishing boats from other places, we'll send patrol boats over to see who's in the right. Wrong. It's not to see who's in the right. It's to see who dares to touch my boat. There's no reason. If it's a boat from another province, then it's fine. If it's a boat from another country, the patrol boats will arrest them. If they resist, they'll be killed. Old Wang's words were filled with killing intent, which frightened Xiao Tao. At the same time, he was very excited. He asked in a low voice, "Then if there's a conflict between boats from other provinces and boats from other countries, will Lu Zhou's boat take care of it?" "Yes, as long as it's a boat from Tang, it's reasonable. If it's not a boat from Tang, it's unreasonable." "That's great. I wonder if we can build the lighthouse further away. In the future, we can sell the fish we catch and the armor we catch to Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce. Uncle, can you accept it here? It's a little far from Lu Zhou." Xiao Tao suddenly felt proud. When he thought about how his family would be protected by patrol boats when they went fishing in the future, he felt energized. He did not have to worry about the wind and waves, and he did not have to be afraid of people from other places. He knew that the further away they were from the sea, the more likely they were to catch special fish and sell them for a high price. According to the people from the West, they often encountered people from other countries when they were fishing there. Sometimes they would even curse each other. When there were more boats from other countries, they would run away. They were afraid that they could not win in a fight. If the lighthouse could be built further away, and the patrol boats could be sent further away, he would see who would dare to provoke him. Old Wang looked at Xiao Tao with a smile and said, "Take it. As long as you bring it to us, we'll take it. However, in terms of quality, we'll calculate according to the lowest quality. I can't tell the quality of so many things. The lighthouse will have to be repaired in the future as well. The main reason is that the patrol ships are too good. After some time, the ships in the docks will be able to patrol further away. Lu Zhou, since the Chamber of Commerce earns money from the fishermen, it's only right that we help them and protect them." "Really? That's great. In the future, when my family has something, we'll sell it to the lighthouse. Uncle, you can tell the people here later and ask them to build a lighthouse on the island my family discovered. I'll ask the people in my village to sell their things to the lighthouse." Xiao Tao's eyes were filled with joy. He began to fantasize about the future. After waiting for a while, 2 patrol boats came over. Old Wang really did tell Xiao Tao's words to the people who got off the boat to deliver the things. The people on the patrol were not directly responsible for this matter. They could only record it down and report it to their superiors when they returned. If it was successful, they would be rewarded. All kinds of things were moved down and carried to the lighthouse's warehouse. Old Wang checked them and pressed his fingerprint. Then, the patrol boats left the lighthouse and headed to another place. Xiao Tao also followed along and helped a little. His body had not fully recovered, and he felt sore every time he moved. As he looked at the 2 patrol boats in the distance, he suddenly made a decision. If there was a chance in the future, he would join the patrol fleet and do some work. Xiao Tao, where are you?" As soon as he returned to the top, Xiao Tao heard his father's voice and ran over in surprise. "Dad, I'm here. Dad, you're awake? I'll heat up some food for you. It's meat porridge, the kind of pork that you can only eat during the new year." As he spoke, Xiao Tao went to heat up the porridge. After seeing the bubbles of the porridge, he sniffed and brought a bowl to his father. "Dad, drink it while it's hot. There are other things to eat later." "What is this place?" Xiao Tao's father obviously didn't react in time. He watched as his son busied himself for a while before bringing a bowl of meat porridge over. He sniffed the porridge just like Xiao Tao. He knew it was cooked with pork and was a little worried when he asked about it. "Dad, eat it quickly. We're home." "Aya, Dad, is it because you can't move your arms from rowing last night? Let me feed you." Xiao Tao scooped some porridge with a spoon, blew on it, and brought it to his father's mouth. Xiao Tao's father took a bite and smacked his lips. "Delicious. Xiao Tao, did you make this? Is this home? Since when did our home become like this? How long have I slept? This is home. There will be more homes in the future. This province was made by my uncle. As long as one is from Tang and makes a living on the sea, the lighthouse is home." Xiao Tao told his father the whole story from beginning to end while feeding him. Xiao Tao's father had seen the people sleeping here just now, but he did not expect there to be such a good place. He finished the porridge in the bowl in one gulp, heaved a sigh of relief, and said, "That's good. Luzhou's provincial governor Zhang is not an ordinary official. Life will be good in the future. Your brother won't have to worry about a wife anymore." Yes. We'll sell things to Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce in the future. We won't sell things to other places even if they offer us more money. Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce can protect us. If we sell things to others and they can't make money, the lighthouse won't be able to survive. Xiao Tao had his own ideas. Since he wanted the Chamber of Commerce to protect him, he had to let them make money. When he thought of this, Xiao Tao slapped his forehead and said, "I forgot something just now. I forgot to ask the patrol boat to help us go back. What should we do? Do we have to swim back?" At this time, Old Wang came up. When he heard the conversation between the father and son, he said with a smile, "Young man, don't worry. There are 2 boats docked at each lighthouse. After you rest for a day, you can row one boat back. Remember to send the boat back when there's a new boat." "Ha! We can use the boat here? Uncle, aren't you afraid that we won't return the boat?" Although Xiao Tao was happy, he still could not believe it. The old man meant to lend them a boat and let them work. When they had the money to buy a new boat, they would return the boat. "I'm not afraid. At most, I'll just put in some effort." You have to go out to sea to fish anyway. When you take the boat, write a receipt. If you don't return it, there will be patrol boats there. If they find you, you don't have to say what will happen. Old Wang was not worried at all. Unless it was 2 people who wanted to earn a boat, they would move away and make it impossible for people to find them. Xiao Tao jumped up and waved his hands happily. He looked at his father and then at the old man and said, "Uncle, don't worry. We will definitely buy a new boat in the shortest time possible. Since the armor incense is so valuable, it will be enough to sell it a few times. Uncle, let me tell you a secret. I can swim to a depth of 300 feet to pick armor incense." When Old Wang heard this, he was stunned. He asked tentatively, "Really? You can swim that deep? Aren't you panting?" "I'm panting, but I can use that breath for a very long time. I have a way, which is to not move the places that don't need to be moved. Tie a stone to the bottom and let it sink. After picking the armor incense at the bottom, release the stone and swim back up." Chapter 531. Old Wang was truly moved this time. He kept staring at Little Tao until Little Tao did not know what to do. Then he asked, "Are you born with this ability?" "No, I figured it out later. You have to practice holding your breath in the water. I just figured it out by myself." Little Tao smiled shyly and replied, "Really? You can figure it out? Good. Little Tao, you don't have to go fishing for armor incense anymore. Your family will have a good life in the future. Wait, I'll be back soon." As Old Wang spoke, he ran to a box at the side and took out a few things from it. Then he climbed to the highest lookout spot and lit the things up. Fireworks exploded in the sky one after another. "Uncle, are those the fireworks they were talking about? They're so beautiful. It would look even better at night. Uncle, why did you light those things?" Little Tao heard the noise and looked out of the window. He saw fireworks exploding in the sky. The noise was so loud that it woke up Uncle Little Stone, who was sleeping. "Old Wang, what are you doing? Did you encounter something you can't handle? Can't you let people sleep?" As soon as Little Tao's voice faded away, Little Stone's voice rang out. Sleep. What else can you do besides sleep? Get up and cook. We found a treasure. Hurry up, I'll give you a share of the credit." Old Wang kicked Little Stone and Little Stone's families. Then he turned to Little Tao and said, "In the future, you'll work in the Chamber of Commerce and teach more people your ability. The Chamber of Commerce will give you a lot of money, so you don't have to worry about your family. Are you willing?" "Working in Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce? Yes, I'm willing. I've heard that working in Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce pays a lot. I'll work for 20 copper coins a day." Little Tao nodded repeatedly. Even though he knew the price of armor incense and could earn a lot in a day, he still decided to work in Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce. He did not have to worry about being bullied. It's not 20 copper coins. If your ability is real, you can earn 200 copper coins a day. It's definitely more than you can earn by fishing for armor incense. Lao Wang had already treated Xiao Tao as a treasure. If everyone in the Chamber of Commerce could learn this ability, then no matter if they encountered danger in the future or did work, they would become more powerful. No wonder the two of them were able to swim here last night. It turned out that there was a capable young man. Confused, little Shirtu asked again. When he heard that Xiao Tao could swim to a depth of 300 feet, he didn't feel sleepy anymore. He got up and began to prepare the meal. It just so happened that new ingredients had arrived. In less than an hour, 6 dishes and a bowl of soup were ready. The yellow wine was also cooked for Xiao Tao and his son to eat. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan still didn't know that they had found a treasure in the farthest lighthouse. Now the two of them took time out every day to play with their younger brother and sister. The 4 little fellows were eating and sleeping. They were rarely energetic. Even if they were held in their arms, they would fall asleep after a while. Wang Wan hugged Zhang Xiaobao's younger brother and asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, how are we going to teach them to speak? Do we have to wait until they're a few months old?" "No, we can do it now. Although they can't speak now, they can listen. As long as they can hear the voices of adults often, it'll be fine. It's best if they can hold something and keep repeating the name of that thing. The more interested they are, the better it is. When they want to play, keep saying the name of that thing. If they aren't congenitally stupid and wait for their vocal cords to grow, they will naturally say the name of something they want. The simplest way is to let them call their mother. This voice is the best to imitate." Zhang Xiaobao's body swayed back and forth. The younger sister in his arms closed her eyes and fell asleep. "That's it. My younger brother and sister aren't stupid. They will definitely be able to speak earlier. Xiaobao, I remember that in the past, when there were children at home who wanted to pee, the adults used 2 people to hold the children's legs. Why do we have to let them pee on the mat now?" Wang Wan changed her younger sister's mat. She wanted to imitate the way she used to let her younger brothers and sisters pee. Zhang Xiaobao immediately said, "No, this won't do. Those children are actually a little older. If they are so small now, their bones won't be able to take it. They have to use this mat. When they can walk, we can slowly let them train. Don't train them to walk now. Just teach them to roll. For example, they can sit up, keep rolling and crawl. They are not like the 2 of us. They don't know their own body condition when they are more than 10 months old, and can adjust. They don't know. If they are not careful, they will be done for." "Ah, there's such a thing? Then let them continue to pee on the mat. But there is no washing machine. It will take a lot of effort to wash them. We have to change them many times a day." Wang Wan had raised children before. How would she know this? Zhang Xiaobao learned this when he was in the orphanage. There were often children who were thrown away by their parents as soon as they were born. It was not because they were disabled, but because the parents seemed to be unable to have children. When they were 16 or 17 years old, they had children. Some were aborted, while others did not know what to do and secretly gave birth to them. If they were children who went to school, it would be easy to find out. It was also impossible to take such a long leave of absence. If they took a leave of absence, their families had to know. However, some children stopped studying and went to work. In the end, those children were taken care of by the older children in the orphanage. After all, there were too few staff members. Zhang Xiaobao learned this from that time. "You two are here? What a coincidence." Just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were talking about how to take care of the children, Li Sun came in from outside. Now he came to see the 4 little guys every day. He discussed with them about letting him take care of them. He was rejected every time, but he never changed his mind. "How is it? Didn't you go to train the remaining 2,000 people? How's the training?" Zhang Xiaobao gently pushed his sister in the cradle and asked Li Sun, "Do you even need to ask? The people I teach are not bad. Really? If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look. I'll take care of the children for a while." Li Sun was about to reach out to Wang Wan's brother, but was hit back. He rubbed his hands and said, 2,000 people don't seem to be enough. Wait until we have a firm foothold there. Even if the imperial court sends troops to protect us, they can't send troops from the capital. If we don't train well here, we may not have a chance. That's a good place. As long as other people know about it, they will think of ways to get it. The best way is of course smuggling. That is, under the name of the military escorting the goods, we can secretly transport the goods back and sell them without paying the tax. This can't happen. Otherwise, once they develop a habit, they will do the same when they go to other places in the future. Zhang Xiaobao knew that Li Sun would not do anything even if he was there. All he would do was watch. There was no need for him to be involved in the training. There were 3,000 men in total. Logically speaking, it was not a small number. However, they had to be a fighting force. Otherwise, even though Lu Zhou had found the place first, he would still have to send his men there first. It was easy for other people to think about it. When the time came, they could send soldiers who could fight over there. They could find a reason to say that it was a competition. If their people won, it would be fine. If they lost, they could let others take over the task of guarding. The military did not do business, so naturally they did not have to pay any tax. Besides, they were the inspectors themselves. When the time came, they would definitely secretly transport the goods here. If that was all, it would not be a big deal. They would just transport the goods. However, they might not only transport the goods but also deliberately lower the price in order to sell the goods faster. Without the tax, as long as the tax was lowered, other normal people and merchants would not be able to bear it. Therefore, this matter had to be stopped. Otherwise, it would cause a lot of trouble. Li Sun listened quietly to Zhang Xiaobao's analysis. After listening to him, he began to worry. He said, what if a prince or a marquis gets involved? That is, if people from your mansion go to get the goods and then come back to make a fortune, the price of the goods in the capital will be affected. Li Sun was indeed very worried. It was too easy to find a reason to go there. It was just like when he went to Lu Zhou. Who would care about him? If a prince or a marquis really got involved, then it would be troublesome. They could not send the army to intercept them, could they? Zhang Xiaobao had already considered this problem and said to Li Sun, this is easy to handle. Right now we are taking the most direct route, and the ships they use are not all good ships. In the future, we will first earn a sum of money, then we will start to take a detour. If they can find the way by themselves, then that is their ability. If they can't find it, then don't think about going there. The merchants in the east of Jiangnan will be treated the same. Let them provide the ships, and we will send people to help them row. We will take a detour and not let them find the way first. If we want to do this, then we must take over the task of guarding. Otherwise, we won't dare to let them take a detour. Li Sun understood now. In the end, it was still about the army. After thinking for a moment, he said, then I'll ask my father to send more people. They have all been trained. I believe they can do it well. That won't do. How can the people of the prince's mansion go out casually? It's better to train our own people. Besides, we can control them now. When we are all gone, will Lu Zhou's army not have any fighting strength? I have a good idea, and that is to wait for the first 1,000 people to occupy the place, then have them come back. Then send another 1,000 people, and take turns going back and forth. When the people arrive at the place, they will think of ways to rob the local people, especially those who are hostile to us. Don't worry, give them better weapons and better defense. If they're injured, heal them. If they die, there's nothing we can do about it. How can there be no deaths in war? That's why we need to train our 2,000 people. Zhang Xiaobao finally used another plan on Li Sun. If something happened, he could help to take the blame. As expected, when Li Sun heard Zhang Xiaobao keep emphasizing the army, he frowned and said, it's easy to talk about other things, but it's not easy. Where are we going to find so many weapons and armors? The imperial court won't send them here. We can make them ourselves, but I'm afraid someone won't let us. As soon as Zhang Xiaobao said that, Wang Wan understood. He was looking for an excuse to make weapons, but he still needed the approval of the imperial court. Li Sun pursed his lips and said, I knew you guys were up to no good. As expected, that's the case. All right, since you are going to make weapons, you can make them first. I'll write a letter to the higher-ups. We can't let the army here be without weapons, right? When the time comes, we can just register it with the higher-ups. Li Sun was no longer the person who was fooled. He had become very shrewd. After listening to Zhang Xiaobao's words, he connected the dots and knew what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan meant. Both of them had all kinds of craftsmen in their families. Was it not easy for them to make some weapons? What's more, there was no lack of resources here. They were just afraid of taking responsibility and needed a legitimate excuse. If it was someone else, Li Sun would definitely reject it. After all, weapons could not be casually made. Even if someone was secretly making weapons, it was fine if it was the Zhang family. The technology submitted by the Zhang family happened to be used for war, so it was normal to make weapons. With this kind of confidence, Li Sun agreed so readily. He laughed with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. This was another kind of agreement. The three of them discussed for a while more before Li Sun left. Zhang Xiaobao also instructed his men to bring the matter of weapon manufacturing to the surface. There was no need to secretly manufacture weapons anymore. As soon as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished their work, the farthest lighthouse sent the news. After the lighthouse found out that Xiao Tao could dive so deep and release the fireworks, they immediately began to make some preparations. When the patrol boat saw the signal, they quickly sent the patrol boat back. They also sent Xiao Tao and his son to the boat and brought them back together. The patrol boat's speed of transmitting the news was very fast. There were pigeons on the boat and they directly flew. A normal boat would take more than half a month to reach the lighthouse, but if the pigeons flew, it would take less than a day. That's great. We've finally found a better talent. Who would have thought that we would have such a person here? Amazing, Xiaobao said happily after receiving the news. Wang Wan was also happy. If they could dive so deep, they would be able to train more people. That would be even more useful. The two of them did not doubt this matter. In the past, there were people who were specially trained to dive to deeper places. It was just that the method was not easy to master. They did not expect that someone here would be able to learn it by himself. In fact, it was very simple. The principle was to let people adjust their heartbeat and movements. When they went underwater, they would be able to distribute oxygen to the places that needed it. For example, the brain, heart, and other parts of the body. The other parts would only be temporarily deprived of oxygen. In this way, this method would allow people to use oxygen more reasonably after taking a breath, and hold on for a longer time. The principle was simple, but it was too difficult to implement, especially when it came to controlling one's body. Even Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could not do it, but the people here could. It was really extraordinary. I've decided. I'll give him better treatment. I'll even set up a department for him to do this. When the time comes, his family will be brought to Luzhou as well. They won't have to stay in other places anymore. Zhang Xiaobao made up his mind. He had to keep a talent like this. He could not advertise it now. When more people learned this method, he would let others know how the Zhang family treated talented people. This talent was not only limited to writing and other knowledge, but it also included skills in other areas. Zhang Xiaobao believed that in this era, there were more talented craftsmen who were buried. They did not pass down their skills. In the end, some special skills were lost in the long river of history. That would be a loss to the entire Chinese nation. Wang Wan understood Zhang Xiaobao's thoughts. She also wanted her country to be strong. She touched the note that was sent back and said, "Grow up quickly. When the time comes, the Tang Dynasty will be at its peak. We'll talk to Li Longji. What do you think we should do to stop him from being so muddle-headed when the time comes?" It's simple. War. As long as he keeps fighting, he'll be spirited. I already have a plan for that. There's no need to think about it now. We haven't reached that level yet. Zhang Xiaobao had a plan for the future. After thinking for a while, he said, "Now, I've decided to start dealing with the Ning clan. We can't just let them attack us once, and then not fight back. That's not our style of doing things. Since they've attacked us, we have to be prepared to receive the counterattack." That's right. Counterattack. Should we capture the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association and get them to correct us? The seal they use should be fake. Could it be dumping? Causing Qinzhou's economy to collapse? Wang Wan waved her little fist. She realized that she didn't have any good ideas to deal with the Ning family. That won't do. It's not that we can't destroy Qingzhou's economy. It's very easy to deal with an economy that's based on exploitation. It's too simple. We can just directly attack the food supply. What about the commoners? This time, I'm prepared to use my trickery to target the Ning family. It won't affect the commoners too much. This poor Taoist is going to break his precepts. Amen. Zhang Xiaobao found a powerful talent and was in a good mood. He was prepared to make the Ning family unhappy. Wang Wan laughed softly. What are you talking about? Are you going to send people to find them and tell them that you'll give them benefits so that they can be easily fooled? No, no, no. That kind of trickery is too low. This time, I'm going to show you the highest level of trickery. I'm going to send people to be tricked. Zhang Xiaobao smiled Weiwei. Wang Wan blinked her big eyes as she looked at Zhang Xiaobao. What she liked the most was Zhang Xiaobao's current appearance. Even though he had the body of a child, whenever Zhang Xiaobao made a move, especially when it came to trickery, she would discover that Zhang Xiaobao had a unique aura around him. That kind of supercilious appearance gave off the feeling that he was the only one in the world. Chapter 532. Candle, Candle. Wang Wan held a candle in her hand and kept talking to the 4 little fellows in the arms of the maidservants. The 4 little fellows were full of curiosity. Their eyes looked at Wang Wan and then looked at the thing in her hand. Their little arms waved back and forth, and saliva flowed down from the corners of their mouths. Their mouths made all kinds of different sounds, but none of them made people feel comfortable. Zhang Xiaobao sat at the side. He did not care about Wang Wan. The children were a little small, and it was not bad to strengthen them without listening. He did not expect them to really say the word candle, as long as they listened. After repeating the same word countless times, the children finally became impatient. 2 of them directly cried. One looked at the candle in a daze, and the other fell asleep. Well, that's it for today. We will continue tomorrow. Wang Wan was very satisfied. After saying this, she handed her brother and sister to the maidservants and left, pulling Zhang Xiaobao out. Zhang Xiaobao was also sleepy. He yawned and admired Wang Wan's persistence. Xiaobao, can you think of a way to make them learn faster? Wang Wan seemed to be not so sure about success. No, if it was us at that time, it would not reach that level here. What way? Why haven't I heard of it? Wang Wan asked curiously. Zhang Xiaobao yawned again. Others have already done it. It's just using pictures. When the child's hand touches a picture, the name of the thing in the picture will appear, and it will be strengthened continuously. That kind of thing won't work. It will be eaten by the child. It can also be made into a physical object. The outside is wrapped with a non-toxic material, and the child can play with it. As long as the child touches it, the inside will produce a sound. Many people can't afford it. It's a problem of cost. Zhang Xiaobao gave another example of a very useful toy. Wang Wan really had not seen it before. She looked at Zhang Xiaobao doubtfully. How high is the cost? 100 yuan each? It's about the same. The materials must be able to be bitten by the child, and they must not be poisonous. They must not be afraid of falling or soaking. It's about 100 yuan each. The difference is the size. A set of a few hundred toys can be thrown to the child, or the child can learn them one by one. The production cost is more than 100 yuan. How much do you think the sales price will be? Ordinary families simply can't afford a toy that costs more than 100,000 yuan. Therefore, this thing can only go high-end. Zhang Xiaobao drew a number 5 with his hand, which meant that a toy that costs 100 yuan would cost at least 500 yuan in the hands of a child. How much would a few hundred toys cost? Wang Wan tried hard to recall, and shook her head. Why haven't I seen such a toy? Is my family not high-end enough? Shouldn't the gift giver give me a few sets? That's because this thing hasn't been put on the market yet. Before we came, the newly upgraded product was the one that could play animations and explain every plant and animal. I reckon that now the children in the orphanage can play with it. It's the kind of toy that has satellite tracking and can be used to make direct calls. The cost is 50 yuan more. Zhang Xiaobao's face showed a trace of pride, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a Weiwei smile. Now Wang Wan understood. She stared at Zhang Xiaobao and asked, "You made it? You gave it to the children in the orphanage first?" "Of course, who else would I give it to if not them? It's not expensive, only 150 yuan each. A set can let many children play at the same time. If any of them get lost when they go out for a stroll, they can find it with the satellite tracking." Zhang Xiaobao probably felt that this kind of thing was the happiest thing for him, and the smile on his face became even brighter. Wang Wan also laughed and asked doubtfully, "So what if there's a satellite tracking on this thing? What if it gets kidnapped? Once it's thrown away, it'll be over." "How can it be thrown away? There are all kinds of additives on it. Children like it. Even if they get lost, they won't lose the toy. It hasn't appeared on the market yet, so others don't know. Maybe it can help to deal with some bad guys. I'm talking about the function of the toy, not the problem of whether it gets lost or not. If it gets lost, it'll be thrown away. One of my funds specializes in this kind of thing. It's to find people who kidnap and sell children. If they find them, they'll directly deal with them. If children can be lost, what's the big deal about a few people dying? The police can't even find the kidnapped children. How can they find the murderer?" Zhang Xiaobao's smile didn't change, but Wang Wan felt a kind of biting cold. At this time, she remembered again what kind of person Zhang Xiaobao was. He was obviously a paranoid person. Usually he was good, but as long as his bottom line was crossed, there was only one result, and that was to directly destroy the body through various means. According to the normal law, such a person should be shot 1,000 times, but according to morality, anyone who was killed by him deserved to die. If there really was a God in this world, perhaps it wouldn't be good to judge him. When his bloody hand gently comforted the child's face, the contrast was indescribable. Wang Wan sighed inwardly. In the end, she didn't say anything and silently walked out of the courtyard. Zhang Xiaobao, on the other hand, was deep in thought as he followed behind her. When the two of them walked out of the courtyard, he stopped and said, "It's time for your clothing design and manufacturing company to expand. We can use our younger brother and sister to promote it. Also, use the beautiful clothes made by Lu Zhou's other children and give them free of charge. Send a batch back to Zhuangzi. There should be a lot of children born in Zhuangzi. You want to use our younger brother and sister to make money." Wang Wan stopped and stared at Zhang Xiaobao. "Yes, give them advertising fees and save it up. When they are a little more sensible, tell them that this is the money they earned and should be used by them. It should be enough when they are about 6 or 7 years old. It's a good time to cultivate their independence. At the same time, we can also see what they think when they are at that age. No matter what they do with the money, I won't care. Let them say it directly. It doesn't matter even if they give it all to a pitiful liar." Zhang Xiaobao said seriously. He wanted to cultivate his younger brother and sister. They were not the kind of good-for-nothings who were always afraid of falling in his hands. He wanted to cultivate their own character from a young age. It was nothing more than accidentally suffering a few losses. As long as children could get better things after suffering a few losses, there was no need to worry about it. They could be sad quickly, but they could also be happy quickly. Then it's up to you. I always feel that it's not good to push them out at such a young age. It's obvious that you are using them. Wang Wan still couldn't agree. There are many things that can be used. I was used to help other donors. At that time, I was sincerely helping. At least I got something. What's more, it's different now. I won't let them appear in the teeth of the storm. In the future, it will depend on their own interests and then adjust. It doesn't matter whether they are famous or not. Let's go, the plan can be carried out. It can't be free anymore. The editor came to me. Next time, I will discuss with the editor first. Today, I will adjust it for 1 day, tomorrow another day, and the day after tomorrow it will be restored. It can't be free anymore. In the future, I will write more words per chapter. It was about to be cancelled. He had to adjust it properly. Thank you for your support. Recommended book. Meng Jiuzhili Yu is addicted to poetry, drunk and dreaming. Zhao Kuangyin's cavalry has trampled half of China, intending to lead the army to the south. After crossing over, Li Xiao improved the craft of frying tea and pioneered the teapot making. One poem shocked the world. 3 essays determined the rivers and mountains. How can a small person rewrite history and plan the world? Chapter 533. It was August, and new seedlings were sown on the ground. The mountain streams were clear and long. The hawking on the streets never stopped, and the fishing boats returned with laughter. When the people invested all their energy and passion in building their homes, the power they felt was unimaginable. In just a year, Luzhou had returned to its prosperous state after the disaster. The grains were collected, and they did not have to pay any rent or tax. The people had more spare cash in their hands, and they began to shop enthusiastically. The houses were free, and they did not have to save money for the houses. The ducks and pigs at home saved the people from having to buy meat. They were well-behaved, and they knew honor and disgrace. At this moment, Luzhou's people were beginning to seek better material and spiritual enjoyment. It was time to repay the Zhang family for their efforts. The goods were bought one after another. The Zhang family earned more profits from collecting local specialties, and the Yamen earned more money as well. Zhang Zhong did not have to use his own family's money for the construction. He used the money collected by the Yamen on the basic construction, such as planting fruit trees and building a fishing pond. Then he rented out the land for the long term. The construction was done quickly, and the renting was done quickly as well. The merchants from other places did not have time to react. Most of the good land was rented out, and the Zhang family was the only one who rented it. The merchants who joined the Chamber of Commerce from other places did not object. They rented some land as well. The local people did not object. They supported whatever the Zhang family wanted to do. The good land should be given to the Zhang family. Only the Zhang family could earn more money and bring more benefits to the people. The others wanted to object, but it was too late. Even if they knew the Zhang family would take advantage of them through such means. Amidst the bustling Luzhou, Zhang Xiaobao made his move. The Zhang family's Chamber of Commerce rented land from the surrounding areas. It did not matter what kind of land it was, whether it was high grade, middle grade, or low grade. The rent was higher than the usual rent. It was a yearly rent. The condition was that the land would be rented for 50 years. If they agreed, the Zhang family would pay to rent the land. The local Yamen would not interfere. Even if the land was idle, they would still pay to rent the land. After the news was spread, the Zhang family began to prepare a large amount of cotton seeds. It gave people the impression that the Zhang family was going to plant a baitizi. The surrounding prefectures all began to move, and they could find and use land everywhere. After Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai found out about this, they gathered together to discuss and called Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to the nursing home. Nowadays, if someone wanted to discuss something with the Zhang family or the Wang family, they would first look for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Looking for Zhang Zhong was more formal. Old Man Pai didn't want to talk too much with Zhang Zhong, even though he had done a lot for Zhang Zhong behind the scenes. Xiaobao, what is your family trying to do? Are you going to let the imperial court deal with the Zhang family? Old Man Pai appeared to be very unhappy. He called Zhang Xiaobao over to his side and questioned him. Why do you want to deal with my family? My family has given the imperial court a lot of benefits. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Old Man Pai in confusion. Wang Wan nodded as well. That's right. We used our own money to build Luzhou, and we're using the imperial court's name. Wouldn't the imperial court be a fool if they want to deal with us? Old Man Pai suddenly felt that the two little fellows were not as smart as they used to be. In the past, they were always quick to understand. What was wrong with them today? He suppressed his impatience and said, The imperial court has no choice but to deal with you. They can't stand the pressure. Tell me, what is your family trying to do? Is it renting land in another province? Of course, we're going to plant it. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan replied in unison. I don't care about the land. I want to know what you're going to plant. Where's the person in charge of your family? Why don't you think about it? Zhang Zhong is going to leave Luzhou soon. The reason he's here is to deal with the infrastructure you mentioned. Once the lives of the people are better and the land is built, it's time for him to leave. I reckon the news will reach Luzhou before the arrival of the new year. The Ning family of Qin province is eyeing you covetously from the sidelines. Instead of restraining yourself, you're giving others something to use against you. Renting land? Who would rent land to you? And you're renting it for 50 years? Are you stupid? The more Old Man Pai thought about it, the angrier he got. It was as though Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were the ones who came up with the idea. He vented all the anger in his heart on the two of them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not feel wronged at all. After all, Zhang Xiaobao was the one who came up with the idea. The two of them were very touched. They had a grandfather who knew a lot of things and cared for them behind the scenes. This was a blessing that many people could only dream of. Grandpa Bai, it seems like you and Grandpa Zhang know that as long as we rent land, the land given to us by the other provinces will be of the worst quality. If we rent it out for 10% more, they'll take the remaining 10%. Zhang Xiaobao said. Old Man Pai was stunned for a moment before he nodded in agreement. Also, Grandpa Bai and Grandpa Zhang are worried that the Ning family is deliberately renting more land to us, so that we can plant cotton. After all, we're starting to plant cotton seeds now. They'll find a way to impeach us. Planting cotton in large quantities occupies the farmland. Even if it's the worst farmland, even if it's saline alkali soil, they'll still find a reason to do so. Zhang Xiaobao continued. Old Man Chang and Old Man Wang nodded again. The two of them realized that the Zhang family understood. They didn't need others to remind them, but they didn't know why they were doing this. At this time, Wang Wan interrupted. We're about to leave. We should understand the situation first. This time we didn't send the news or send people to Qinzhou. Whether the land is rented or not has nothing to do with Qinzhou. The Ning family has no right to impeach us. If Ning Zhongze wants to impeach us, Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai, what do you think we should do? What else can we do? Of course, we'll rent more land to you. Once you plant cotton, we'll immediately impeach you. The Ning family has been trying to deal with you for a long time. You're taking the initiative to let them deal with you. Did you plan this all along? As Old Man Pai spoke, he suddenly realized something. Since the Zhang family brought up this matter that both of them knew, could it be that the Zhang family wasn't prepared? Old Man Chang was also stunned. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, waiting for them to explain. Wang Wan was the person she was most proud of. Zhang Xiaobao didn't lose his reputation as an international swindler. When he didn't do anything, he looked easy to bully, but when he did, he definitely wouldn't give others a chance. Everything was linked. Looking at Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai's eyes, Wang Wan smiled and said, Yes, it's time to deal with the Ning family. Grandpa Zhang, Grandpa Bai, do you know what the highest level of swindling is? What is it? So that others can't see that they've been swindled? Old Man Chang replied. No. Wang Wan shook her head. Of course the swindled person can't see it. Otherwise, how could they be swindled? Then is it because they can't do anything after being swindled? Old Man Pai had played politics before, so he thought this was the point. No. Wang Wan shook her head again. If you can't catch them after being swindled, of course you can't do anything. Who doesn't know how to run? Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai pondered at the same time. After thinking for a while, they really couldn't think of anything, so they shook their heads at the same time. Wang Wan put her hands behind her back, walked back and forth in front of the two people a few times, and said, The highest level of swindling is to make others take the initiative to be swindled. After being swindled once, they still have to take the initiative to be swindled again. How is that possible? Do you think we're all idiots? Old Man Chang was the first to not believe it. I knew Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai wouldn't believe it. It's okay, just wait and see. When the time comes, we'll know. Wang Wan pretended to be mysterious and said, Then can't you tell us first? Old Man Pai was really curious. Renting a piece of land? Could it be that the two masters of the Zhang family were able to swindle people into the house, and swindle them over and over again? Do you want to continue like before? I can't say. I definitely can't say. If I say it, it won't be fun. Grandpa Zhang, Grandpa Bai, don't worry. We're not so bad that we can't even consider such a small matter. It will be very interesting. Xiao Bao and I have to go back and take care of our younger siblings. After Wang Wan finished speaking, she didn't wait for the two old men to ask any more questions. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and left. After leaving the courtyard, Wang Wan pondered over Zhang Xiaobao's plan. Suddenly, she felt that something was wrong. She grabbed Zhang Xiaobao. Xiaobao, you made a plan just to trap the Ning family? It can't be that simple, right? I never said it was that simple. No matter how powerful the Ning family is, it's not worth it for me to specially make a plan for them. They don't deserve it. Let's go. You'll know in the future. Zhang Xiaobao winked, pulled Wang Wan and left. Chapter 534. In the boring days, Li Sun finally received a decree from the imperial court. Just as Zhang Xiaobao had expected, the imperial court didn't have time to send people to Luzhou or even Yi province. At the same time, they didn't want to give up the newly discovered land. Whether it used to be Tang's land or not, it was said that there was gold and copper, and that the grain yield there was high. When they heard that the local people were all tribes, they angrily pointed out in the decree that Li Sun should seek justice for the people of Tang. Li Sun naturally didn't have to rush back to get his own land. According to reliable sources, the imperial court had been arguing with each other to collect taxes from merchants returning from overseas. Everyone wanted to put their own people in this important position. However, this was too difficult. The coastline was too long. If they really wanted to collect taxes, they needed the merchants to consciously stop at the relevant places. This was obviously impossible. Only the special products of Tang could be found, and there was no way to control the gold and copper. This problem was sent to Luzhou together with the decree for Li Sun. It meant to let the two experts of the Zhang family think of a way. After all, they had found another land. Wang Wan saw the unofficial handwritten letter written by the emperor. While admiring it, she asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Is there a way?" "Yes, there is. If it were any other time, there wouldn't be. It's simple here, but why should I tell them? My father doesn't care about the customs." Zhang Xiaobao said indifferently. Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai also thought of the same thing. They asked Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to play a few games of billiards with them. After Zhang Xiaobao won consecutively without mercy, they changed the topic to control the customs. "Xiaobao, Cuckoo, I'll give you two a difficult problem today. Let's see if you can solve it. Say there's a country. It's surrounded by plains, and there are many neighboring countries. Many merchants secretly transport goods from other countries. This country wants to collect taxes. What should we do?" Old Man Pai smiled as he looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao looked at each other and thought to themselves, "That's it. Grandpa, I know. Buy our cement, build city walls, and surround the entire country. Merchants from other countries will be stopped." Wang Wan blinked her eyes and said with certainty what she had thought of. Zhang Xiaobao chimed in. "Grandpa, I think that would be a waste of cement." Old Man Pai nodded and signaled for Zhang Xiaobao to continue. "Grandpa, my idea is to send a large number of people to patrol on horseback. Since it's a plain, there should be a lot of grass, right? If there isn't, we'll plant it and eat it wherever we go." Zhang Xiaobao explained his idea. Old Man Pai and Old Man Chang were stunned. This was not the answer they wanted. Their eyes swept back and forth between Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. They were very suspicious that the two of them were deliberately speaking nonsense. The two of them were smart. It was impossible for them to say something as stupid as that. Then what if it's surrounded by the sea? Old Man Chang had to be more direct. "The sea? Then we'll use cement to build a seawall. Make it tall and big, leaving only a few places for ships to dock." Wang Wan changed her idea slightly. "No, that would waste a lot of cement. My idea is..." "Your idea is to send countless ships to patrol. After all, there are fish in the sea. When the time comes, we'll just eat the fish. If there aren't any, we'll raise some fish, right?" Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao to finish, Old Man Chang finished his sentence. Zhang Xiaobao nodded vigorously. You two forget it. I'll tell you directly. Your family found another piece of land in Tang Dynasty. If a merchant goes there to transport goods, how will he collect taxes when he comes back? The place was found by your family. This problem needs to be solved by your family. Old Man Pai understood now. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan definitely knew the solution. They just didn't want to say it. In desperation, they found a reason. When he said this reason, even he felt embarrassed. It was a bit too much of a bully. As expected, Zhang Xiaobao was stunned and said faintly, "My family found another place, so we have to solve this problem." Then, if my family found another place as locals, does that mean we have to educate them on behalf of the imperial court? There's no need to educate them. Think about it, your father is leaving soon. The next place hasn't been chosen yet. It's not easy. It's very likely that he will be sent to the capital to be a capital official. Old Man Pai's face turned even redder. How could he let others do the work of educating? When the time came, they might not know the Tang Dynasty's emperor anymore. In desperation, he began to use threats. After he finished speaking, he didn't dare to look at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's pure eyes. "Grandpa Bai, there are many capable people in the imperial court. Why do you have to get involved? The imperial court collects taxes. Aren't you afraid that the imperial court will use it for war? At that time, countless family members will lose their sons, fathers, and men at home." Zhang Xiaobao didn't have anything to gain. How could he say this out loud? Old Man Pai smacked his lips and said, "The surrounding countries can't be used for war yet. They're mainly used for disaster relief. The national treasury can't do that. We can't build roads even if we want to. Luzhou, on the other hand, has cement roads. They look more beautiful than the capital. There are seawalls and lighthouses. The capital's city walls are still made of mud." When Old Man Bai saw that his threats did not work, he began to complain about being poor. It was as though if the walls of the capital were not made of cement, and the roads leading to various places were not made of cement, the Zhang family would be a sinner. After all, the Zhang family had built Luzhou so well. Zhang Xiaobao thought about it for a while and said, "Grandpa Bai, I'm actually worried that my father will return to the capital to do something. It's still too early, especially for Cuckoo's father. It's fine if his official position is just a title, but it's so low. When I came here with Cuckoo earlier, Cuckoo's father even said that he wanted to help the imperial court collect taxes. However, because his official position is too low, he can't submit a memorial." Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai understood that the Zhang family wanted to exchange conditions. They wanted Wang Wan's father to be promoted, but it was just a title. "Oh, is that so? That's really good for our Tang dynasty. What's the name of an official?" "Wu Sangguan, lower grade 4. What's his name again?" Old Man Pai was very smart. "General Zhuang Wu, right?" Old Man Chang said. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were satisfied. This way, Wang Wan's mother would also receive the title of a grade 4 noble lady. Zhang Xiaobao was not afraid that Old Man Pai would go back on his word. If there was a next time, he could forget about getting information from him. General Zhuang Wu? Then we have to strengthen the military. To strengthen our Tang dynasty's martial arts, the general naturally has to lead the troops. Lead the troops to the newly discovered place to protect the merchants. When the time comes, put a few soldiers on each boat. I believe that the soldiers will be able to safely bring the merchants back to the designated safe place. Yes, just send the soldiers in boats. Why didn't I think of that? Even the imperial court didn't think of this. It seems that they have set their sights on the Tang dynasty. Good. Xiaobao and Cuckoo, don't worry. The appointment will be here soon. Old Man Pai finally reacted. Things were not as complicated as he thought. All the merchants who went there would definitely seek the protection of the local soldiers. As long as the soldiers were used to escort them, there was no need to worry. Even if the merchants wanted to do it themselves, it was impossible to keep the secret. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, how much do you think we should collect when the merchants come back? Old Man Pai casually asked another question. Since he had already mentioned one, another one would not make a difference. Zhang Xiaobao replied without thinking. That depends on the goods. If it's gold or copper, we should collect as much tax as possible. If it's grain, not only should we not collect tax, we should also compensate them with copper or gold. In other words, if they bring back a portion of the copper and a portion of the grain, then it's very likely that the copper will not be taxed. We should encourage them to bring grain back. The grain in the Tang dynasty is still a little insufficient. Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai nodded. Good idea. They could adjust it a little. That is, they should directly hand in the grain as the copper tax instead of letting the merchants sell it themselves. If they hand in grain, then it would be more cost-effective than directly handing in copper. This would allow the merchants to transport countless grains back to the Tang dynasty. This was actually a discrimination and restriction against the merchants. Zhang Xiaobao could not, and did not want to care. He just had to do his own thing. Both Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were very happy to get a higher official position for Wang Wan's father. Whoever was willing to be the tax collector could do it. Their father could not do it. It was the heart of the struggle and could easily cause trouble. When the two returned home, Li Sun was accompanying the 4 sleeping children in boredom. His eyes were not focused and he was in a daze. Seeing the two enter, he immediately went forward and said, Xiaobao, why haven't they come back yet? Could they have been killed by the local people? Is it so easy to kill more than 1,000 people? There are also weapons and equipment. What's the hurry? Maybe they found something good again. Zhang Xiaobao was not worried that the 1,000 people would not come back. How can I not be anxious? I am now the person in charge of this matter. I want to go and take a look. Li Sun was still thinking about the matter there. Zhang Xiaobao looked at his younger siblings. They were all sleeping very soundly. Occasionally, their little mouths would move as if they were drinking milk. He smiled and said, even if they come back, you can't go. If you go and come back, too much time will be wasted. It is very likely that my father will leave soon. The imperial court will probably let you take charge first. There are already people coming here. The moment my father leaves, it will be the time for the new provincial governor and the new person to replace you to come here. You have to go. While there is still time, you should make arrangements. Your fief is not as big as a province. It would be best if it was a good place. My father can also be the new provincial governor. So there is no chance this year. Li Sun sighed. Then he became happy again. Yes, you have to make arrangements. When the time comes, I will follow you and see how the new place will look like. Xiaobao, there is one more thing. The Ning family hasn't been fooled yet. Should we think of something else? There is no rush. We have to give them time to react. Let's start with the other provinces first. Let Qin province take a look. I believe they won't let go of this opportunity. Zhang Xiaobao was not worried at all. The mentality of a swindler was very important. Li Sun saw that the Zhang family was not worried, so he was relieved. He said, then what should we do now? I don't have anything to do. I am idle all day. You don't have to worry about the matters on the mountain. Find me some work. Isn't it easy if you want to work? I will find you one now. Help train divers and learn from little Tao. Zhang Xiaobao casually sent Li Sun away. Chapter 535. There were mulberries in summer, but there was no coolness in the woods. Wiping the sweat off one's face was also a sign of busy sowing. Because there were fewer people, the harvest and sowing in Qinzhou was later than in Luzhou. After the Ning family's land was sorted out by their own people, they had no choice but to send their people to other places to help. It was like pouring a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood. Ning Zhongzi held a piece of information in his hand and read it over and over again. He felt uneasy. The steward stood respectfully at the side with his head lowered. Occasionally, he would look up at the old master, but he would quickly look away. Last time, the matter of using fish eggs to deceive people was investigated on him. Even though he was not the one who came up with the idea and was not qualified to make the decision. This time, with the new information, he did not dare to get involved again. If it were not for the old master forbidding him to leave, he would have left long ago. Let whoever was willing to make the decision. He would not say anything even if he was asked. It was better to pretend that he did not exist. What do you think? Should we send someone to contact the Zhang family and rent the land to them? The steward could not avoid the question that he had been worried about. When he heard the old master's question, he replied respectfully, "Old master, I'm not sure. Master, I'm not sure. I'll leave it to you to decide." Why are you not clear about the information you gave me? Tell me. You're the only one who can come up with ideas in this family. Ning Zhongzi put the piece of paper on the table and stared at the steward. At this moment, the steward felt like killing himself. He cursed the Ning family in his heart for not being considerate. Thinking of taking a step back and seeking stability, he said, "Old master, since you asked, I'll tell you. I think this matter is not easy to handle. If something goes wrong, the old master will be easily implicated." Not easy? What's not easy? It can't be that it's not easy just because you think about it, right? Ning Zhongzi had tasted the sweetness. He wanted to scheme against Zhang Zhong once, but he did not want to take the lead. He planned to let the steward say it like last time. If something went wrong, he would return to the family and have someone to help him. If the matter was settled, he would naturally reap the benefits. The steward was a little disappointed. In the past, the old master would not be like this. No matter what happened, he could solve it. But now, since Zhang Zhong came to Luzhou, the first thing he thought about when he did something wrong was how to push the blame to others. He had become so timid. This time, if he really spoke too much and something happened, then he wouldn't be able to continue being a steward. After some consideration, the butler revealed a troubled expression. "Master, I'm just wondering if the Zhang family will also encounter difficulties in other prefectures. What if they don't say anything, and we send people over? By then, the Zhang family will have already collected enough land. Wouldn't that be a wasted trip? Why don't we wait for Zhang Zhong to find us first? Let's wait for them to come. If Zhang Zhong doesn't come, are we just going to ignore it? Your guts are getting smaller and smaller. What are you afraid of? Tell me what you're thinking." Ning Zhongzi looked very unhappy. He stared at the steward and said. The steward revealed a timid expression and forced a smile. "Master, I really can't think of any other way. If you have a better idea, I'll do as you say. You let go of such a good opportunity. Forget it. Let's leave this matter to the family and let them talk. You go and do it. Don't forget to bring back a warrant. How's the other matter arranged by the family going?" Ning Zhongzi looked as if he expected better from the steward. After saying a few words, he finally didn't dare to make up his mind. He arranged the matter to the steward and asked about another matter. The steward heaved a sigh of relief. As long as he wasn't forced to express his opinion, it was fine. As for going to the family to ask others, it was just an errand. Seeing that the old master asked about another matter, he quickly replied, "Master, rest assured." "Rest assured, master. Everything has already been arranged. We'll start with the capital province." "Master, you're really thorough. This lowly one didn't think of starting with the other members of the Zhang family. Zhang Zhong is very capable. We can't afford to offend him. Oh no, we should let him do as he pleases. However, we can't do the same for his people in Zhuangzi. He can't protect everyone. Our people in Duji province will deal with his villagers in Sanshui County first." Brilliant. Master's idea is really brilliant. Although the steward said this, he had other thoughts in his mind. He really didn't know how to evaluate this family. Zhang Zhong was clearly in front of him and in Lu Zhou's presence, but the people in his family actually had ideas about his villagers. What was this? It was as if the old master had provoked someone, and the person he provoked didn't dare to deal with the old master. Instead, he secretly watched the people from the Ning family who were buying things on the street. When they weren't paying attention, he kicked them and ran away so that they couldn't be caught. Then he became complacent and schemed against the Ning family. It was so embarrassing. He used the people from Duji province to deal with an ordinary chicken farmer from the Zhang family. Moreover, he didn't let anyone know and secretly did it. He hoped that it would be of some use. He could deal with a few more people from the Zhang family and make Zhang Zhong worry. This could be considered a scheme. Ning Zhongzi was satisfied. Wei Wei nodded and a smile appeared on her face. "Yes, master, this is called getting rid of the branches first so that they can't take care of each other. How will Zhang Zhong know how powerful I am? When the Zhang family in Duji province is chased out, we'll continue to deal with their villagers in the capital. What do you think?" "Ah, master, you mean the capital? That's not right. If something really happens in the capital, our people won't be able to withdraw. The steward was shocked. The capital wasn't like Duji province. This time, they were taking action in Haiyan County in Duji province, which was still some distance away from Luoyang. If too many people were alarmed, it would be easy for them to be discovered. You're just a coward. Forget it, we'll deal with one person. We'll talk about the future in the future. Go ask the Zhang family about the land. Ning Zhongzi suddenly realized that the Ning family couldn't be allowed to behave atrociously everywhere. Although he refused to admit it, he waved his hand and sent the steward away. A boat from Duji province only took 9 days to travel against the current to the capital. It didn't stop and went up the small river. The 3 men on the boat took turns to row the boat. Under a shed made of old canvas, a person lay motionless with his eyes closed. Brother Zhang, come drink some water. We just need to stop in the capital and spend some money to find a doctor to take a good look at him. The older man held a bowl of water and came to the side of the person lying on the ground. He brought the water to his mouth and said worriedly, "Don't worry, big brother. It's just a broken bone that has already been connected. It's just that the cut on his leg is a little big and swollen. It'll be fine when we reach Huayuan County. Besides, the price of a doctor in the capital is too high. Big brother Zhang doesn't need to spend much money." The person lying there forced himself to stay awake, tilted his head, and drank a few mouthfuls of water. Sigh. The older man sighed. He knew that his brother lying on the ground didn't make things clear. How could the 3 of them have the money to see a doctor? Otherwise, they wouldn't need a smoked chicken seller to take care of them. Unfortunately, when they saw that someone was bullying them, they didn't dare to rush over to help. Those people all had knives and sticks in their hands. The 3 of them would only be beaten up if they went over. "Brother, it's not that I want to scold you, but they said they want the prescription. So what if you give it to them? You almost lost your life." The older man also knew that business was difficult to do. The person lying there smiled bitterly and said, "Big brother, I don't have the prescription. Even if I did, I couldn't give it to them. If I gave it to them, they would still drive me away. It's already good that I didn't lose my life." The Ning family's restaurant also sells chicken. Ever since I went there, their white-cut chicken can't be sold at a good price. Don't worry, big brother. Wait until I recover. I'll go back and teach them a lesson. They're just the Ning family of Qinzhou. How dare they bully a small village owner like me? Haha. Do they think that a village owner like me is easy to bully? I'm also a person with a master. I'll definitely pay them back 1,000 times for what they did today. As he spoke, the person lying on the ground pinched his thigh hard to lessen the pain. His leg was swollen to the size of his waist. Men are afraid of wearing boots. Women are afraid of wearing hats. Brother, how can your leg be healed when it's so swollen? Now that you know it was the Ning family who did it, don't think about anything else. You can't afford to offend them. We poor people can't afford to offend them. Brother, listen to me. Don't drag your master's family into this. I heard that the Ning family has an important official in Qinzhou. The older man couldn't bear to look at the swollen leg and shook his head. The person lying there, Wei Wei, shook her head. Big brother, it's not that I want to get revenge. I won't come here. How can my injury be healed? My money and things were stolen, and my restaurant was smashed. I had no choice but to come back. As long as I come back, the master's family will deal with the people who beat me up. Big brother, don't worry. The Ning family of Qinzhou is just a provincial governor. We're both at the 4th rank and he's already in his 50s. Don't worry. Do they think that the Zhang family is a facade that they can pinch as they please? I'll have to trouble you, big brother. The family of 3 who can work have all come over. I'll leave sister-in-law alone at home to take care of our parents. I definitely won't let big brother come here for nothing. Why are you saying this? We've always received a lot of benefits from you. Not to mention other things, just the chicken buttocks without tendons were given to us by you. That's why Gua doesn't lack meat to eat. She's our only grandson. Even my father always says that 4 generations live under one roof. Gua's body is weak. Back then, she was afraid that she would die early. Ever since she met you, brother, Gua has become much fatter. When you were beaten up, We were already sorry that we didn't rush up to help you. Please don't say anything else. Otherwise, our family will be too ashamed to face others." The older man's eyes turned red. He was worried, but he also hated himself for not rushing over to help. Just as the person lying on the ground was about to speak, a boat suddenly rushed over from upstream. The people on the boat casually glanced around and happened to see him. They immediately stopped the boat. The boat that was coming over suddenly stopped in the water, then turned around and quickly caught up with the person lying on the ground. One of the people on the boat looked at the person lying on the ground and asked, "Are you a farmer from Zhangjia Zhuangzi?" "Yes." The person lying on the ground pointed at a rice sprout embroidered on his chest and nodded in acknowledgement. "Quick, send a signal. Immediately ask Huayuan Hospital to send someone here." After the people on the boat confirmed, they immediately gave the order. Two of the other people on the boat quickly picked fireworks. Accompanied by the sound, 3 fireworks exploded in the sky almost at the same time. There was actually a pattern SOS. Less than 20 breaths after the fireworks here, 3 fireworks also rose into the sky and exploded in the distance upstream. After a while, another sound came from further away. Vaguely, the same pattern of SOS fireworks flew in the sky. "Take this medicine. I'll cut off the rotten flesh for you first. Bear with it. Wait until we reach the hospital. You must hold on. Who is so bold? Who dares to hurt the people of the Zhang family?" Later, the person who spoke on the boat jumped onto the boat. While feeding the person lying on the boat 2 pills, he stuffed a stick into the person's mouth. Then he placed his small satchel on the table and took out a small porcelain bottle, as well as a knife wrapped in oil paper. The family of 3 who brought the person here watched the person cutting the flesh there. The person lying on the ground was in so much pain that he bit the stick hard. Sweat kept dripping down. "Okay, this is all I can do. We'll talk about the rest when we reach the hospital." The person took back the things. The wound on the patient's leg had been bandaged and medicine was applied. A cool smell could be smelled. Chapter 536. The father and sons from Haiying County had been worried the entire way. They were afraid that Brother Zhang and Uncle Zhang, who usually took care of them, wouldn't make it. They were also afraid that the Ning family would chase after them. It wasn't until now that the 3 felt relieved. Although they didn't know which power the people on the boat belonged to, the continuous rise of fireworks indicated that they were passing on a message. As for where the message was sent, they didn't know. The person lying on the ground drank a few more mouthfuls of water, and told the people who came that the father and sons had saved him. Only then did he relax and fall asleep. Once they reached this river, they would be home. Not to mention the Ning family, as long as they didn't really commit a crime. Even if the imperial court sent people to catch them, they wouldn't be able to. There would be someone to help them deal with it. If there was anything, they should first treat their injuries. "Father, which family's young master is Uncle Zhang?" The eldest son on the boat quietly asked his father when he saw the boat next to him lift the person up and put him on the fast boat. "Don't guess blindly. How could a young master sell smoked chicken? Just follow them and you'll know. In a moment, if someone asks you something, just answer them honestly." The father tried his best to maintain a calm posture and not reveal the nervousness in his heart. However, when the boat upstream arrived in less than a quarter of an hour, and also turned around to follow them, the father didn't dare to be so sure anymore. As soon as the new boat arrived, the previous boat sped up and left the father and son's boat behind to go against the current. The 4 people on the new boat had swords at their waists and bows on their backs. They were wearing the same tight clothes, so it was obvious that they were bailiffs. "Did the 3 of you send him back?" The bailiff in front swept his eyes over the 3 of them. Yes. Brother Zhang was injured and we didn't have extra money to treat him. We could only follow Brother Zhang's instructions and send him here." The father began to suspect that he had misspoken. Brother Zhang should be a young master from some family. Otherwise, how could the bailiff come here so quickly? "Get on the boat. Someone will take care of your boat." The bailiff didn't say much. He waved his hand and the 3 of them carefully swapped places on the bailiff's boat. When they saw the other bailiff jump onto their boat, the 3 of them knew that they wouldn't lose their boat. At this time, the three bailiffs on the boat looked at the direction of the wind. They actually set up a folded sail and rowed with all their might to catch up with the boat in front of them. When the yamen runner's boat was about to catch up to the boat in front, the three of them saw another boat coming down from upstream. After the same quick turn, it ran to the bow of the boat in front, hung a hook, raised a small sail, and moved the boat faster. 2 hours later, the boats that were sailing against the current had formed a fleet. Their sails were flapping, and their flags were fluttering in the wind. There was a fast boat with the same yamen runners leading the way. All the boats in the front had to move aside and give way to the main road. The three of them tried hard to guess who Brother Zhang, Uncle Zhang was. They signaled back and forth with their eyes, wanting to ask but not daring to. Another hour passed, and a slightly larger boat came upstream. When it went down the river, it was very fast. It could be clearly seen that because of its fast speed, the bow of the boat was raised up from the water from time to time. When they were close enough, they directly floated over. A few people wearing white coats stood up with a few small boxes in their hands. "Brother, may I ask what those people are doing? They won't harm Brother Zhang, right?" The father was curious, so he plucked up the courage to ask the cold-faced bailiff next to him. After seeing the new boat close to the boat with the patient, the bailiff's expression finally became better. He exhaled and said to the father of the three of them, "Don't worry. Don't be afraid of people dying. They are doctors from the Tang First Medical Research Institute in Huayuan County. They are not slow." "Father, where is the Tang First Medical Research Institute?" the eldest son asked curiously. "It's the place behind the life-saving hospital, where the emperor personally wrote the signboard." The father suppressed the excitement in his heart and introduced it to his son. The life-saving hospital was actually called the Dai Hospital in Huayuan County by the common people. Whether it was in terms of skills or medical ethics, it was the best in Tang. Even the imperial doctors used in the imperial palace had to come here from time to time to communicate. If there were any difficult diseases in the imperial palace, they would even use the 800 miles emergency report to deliver the news. Whether in the eyes of the common people or the high officials and nobles, this hospital and the research institute behind it were the best in Tang. Many traveling doctors said that patients who needed to be prepared for their funeral could be saved by the Dai Hospital. Therefore, the common people gave this hospital the name of Life-Saving Hospital. The youngest son, who had been silent all this time, suddenly asked, "Are they not doctors of Life-Saving Hospital? Are they doctors sent by the research institute behind it?" This was a very important question. Yes, the doctors in the research institute have better medical skills. If they can't cure the patient because of their lack of medical skills, the Zhang family's anger is unimaginable. Who is so bold? Who dares to hurt the Zhang family? The yamen runner looked at the youngest son and replied. Then he asked with a gloomy face. "The Ning family of Qinzhou that does business in Haiyin County. The whole family is a big family. In Qinzhou, what they say is the law. They are very capable. Even the provincial governor is surnamed Ning." The eldest son was now afraid. He was afraid that the Ning family would take revenge on them. The yamen runner nodded. "Oh, so it's the provincial governor of Lower Province. It's okay. The provincial governor is not afraid." The father remembered what Brother Zhang said, and became more curious. Now he knew that Brother Zhang was a villager in Zhuangzi. What a miraculous villager. He could actually mobilize more than a dozen ships. Not to mention the provincial governor of Lower Province. As long as he didn't do anything wrong, even the provincial governor of Upper Province in Yaozhou wouldn't dare to hurt the people of Zhangjia Zhuangzi. "I have to thank the three of you for your help. We are home now." The yamen runner knew how protective the Zhang family was and what Zhang Zhong was doing. This area was not part of Huayuan, but Sanyuan County. He was transferred from Huayuan County to be the leader, and just happened to be on patrol. Sanyuan was also a county in Yaozhou. The good things that Zhang Zhong had done for the people of Yaozhou were not forgotten. The Zhang family could be said to be unimpeded on the entire river. The three of them didn't know the power of the Zhang family in this area. They also didn't know how a villager could be so important. The only thing they knew was that if the Ning family dared to chase after them, they would never be able to go back. Looking at the boat that was being protected, the three of them were moved. They had learned a lot in this life. Villagers were usually people who had no other way to make a living. If they had the ability to survive, no one would be willing to be a villager. However, Brother Zhang, Uncle Zhang, was doing well as a villager. He could do business outside. When he came back injured, he could get so many boats to protect him. He even used the fireworks that were supposed to be used for emergencies. If they were the villager of Zhangjia Zhuangzi, they would be satisfied for the rest of their lives. At this time, the youngest son asked, "How did they know that someone was injured here?" "It's written on the color of the fireworks. This is the first time they've been used. When we arrive at the hospital in Huayuan County, the people from Sanshui County should have arrived. If someone asks you something, just tell them the truth. There's no need to be afraid of the Ning family. If there's really no other choice, just move your family members here." The Yamen runner was easy to talk to. If someone asked him, he would explain and comfort the three of them. Being a Yamen runner in Yaozhou was the most difficult and happiest thing to do. They had to train hard and help the people do many trivial things. They had to find a chicken, pry open a pig, build a house, and find a doctor when someone was sick. The people were used to looking for Yamen runners for trivial matters. Happiness came from their mood. If they were thirsty on the road, they could ask a random family for a bowl of water, and they would be treated well. If a daughter was of age and wanted to get married, the first choice would be a Yamen runner. A villager was beaten. It was a very small matter. The people in Haiyin County didn't think much of it, and the people who beat him didn't think much of it. Only those who knew the Zhang family understood how serious this matter was. Song Jinggong found out about the situation 4 hours after the villager was sent to the hospital. The news was sent by pigeon. The Ning family can't deal with the old master over there, so they came here to bully the villager. How dare they? Haiyin County? Good. Someone send a message. The circular game held around the capital will be postponed indefinitely in Duji province. Between the clouds and the water will buy a restaurant in Haiyin County. Let's see what the Ning family's signature dish is and cook the same dish as theirs. Stop the supply of tea leaves and seasonings in all the restaurants in Haiyin County. Send a team of guards between the clouds and the water to Haiyin County. Send them to Haiyin County on a fast boat. Protest and complain to the Yamen in Haiyin County. The tourist group will no longer accept people from Haiyin County. Tell all the merchants who have a business relationship with us that they don't want to buy anything from Haiyin County. The fleet will not stop in Haiyin County in the future. After learning about the situation, Song Jinggong passed down a series of orders. He immediately wrote a letter and asked someone to send it to Lu Zhou via pigeon. He asked the little young master to take action. 5 days. In just 5 days, many people learned about the power of the Zhang family. They imported the same specialty products as Haiyin County from other places and dumped them in the surrounding areas. All of a sudden, the local merchants in Haiyin County were unable to sell their goods. When the competition was stopped, many people who were prepared could only watch helplessly. After receiving the letter, the branch of Between the Clouds and the Water in Luoyang came to Haiyin County in just 3 days. They bought the restaurant and directly operated it at the cost of its production. When the supply of seasonings and tea leaves was stopped, all the restaurants in Haiyin County went bankrupt. The Yamen's tax was reduced again and again, and the Ministry of Justice's letter asking for accountability was sent to Haiyin County. After one method after another, people finally understood the status of the Zhang family as a village owner. They also knew what it meant to be swept away by lightning. The condemning poems and articles of the scholars in the surrounding prefectures appeared one after another. Even the girls who sang in the brothel were no exception. Haiyin County was under the jurisdiction of Henan Prefecture, which was the eastern capital, Luoyang. After learning about the situation, the officials in Luoyang were dumbfounded. Some people who were good at calculating had already calculated that the Zhang family's action for a village owner would cost them at least 2,000 strings of cash. That was 2,000 strings of cash. A village owner could not earn that much money in his lifetime. However, Song Jinggong, who was in charge of the Zhang family, did not care about how much money he would lose. To the Zhang family, this was not a matter of money. They had only sent out guards from between the clouds and the water to protect the village, who were on the way. If they were close enough, the Zhang family could even send out Team Zero to protect the village. Song Jinggong wanted to use this opportunity to send a signal to everyone who was thinking about the Zhang family. The dignity of the Zhang family was not to be challenged. Even if it was a village owner who looked weak to others, they still had to treat him with respect and courtesy. Otherwise, the Zhang family would personally take action. Anyone who wanted to touch the Zhang family would have to be prepared to face the wrath of the Zhang family. After 5 days of comprehensive attacks, the Zhang family suddenly became famous. Countless officials were shocked, countless commoners were frightened, and countless village owners were envious. After the officials in Haiyan County reacted, they immediately sealed off the Ning family's restaurant in the county and arrested all of them in an attempt to quell the anger of the Zhang family. However, Song Jinggong was not moved at all. It was too late. What was the point of doing it earlier? Today, Haiyan County dared to not protect the Zhang family. If they let them go easily, Shanin County or Heian County would do the same tomorrow. He did not believe that the Ning family had no relationship with the local officials in the county. He did not believe that they did not know about the Ning family beating people. If they could not afford to offend the Ning family, could they afford to offend the Zhang family? Yes, Song Jinggong is really reassuring. He knows what we will do if we encounter them. He asked my father to write a memorial immediately and send it directly to the imperial court. He said to the imperial court that today's Zhang family is tomorrow's great Tang. Today they protect the Zhang family from being bullied. Tomorrow, Lu Zhou's fleet will protect the commoners of Great Tang from being bullied. Yes, we are doing the same. The people of Great Tang are precious. No one can touch them. Even if they do something wrong, we have to send them back to Great Tang first. Pigeons spread news quickly. Chapter 537. In the face of such a huge profit, the Ning family of Qin province made a move. They could not think of any negative consequences for renting out the land. They found Chao Herue and the other two who had just finished their hard work. They were the ones in charge of this matter. Zhang Zhong gave the matter of renting out the land as a joint production project. With this, it became a gimmick to encourage the local people to vigorously develop farming. Chao Herue and the other two thought that Zhang Zhong believed them. This was the result of their hard work in farming twice. They signed the documents with the surrounding provinces. When the Ning family came looking for them, the three of them did not think too much and immediately used their authority to rent 150,000 mu of land in Qin province. They still owed the Ning family money. Although they knew that the land was not good, it did not matter. The Zhang family had already said that they could rent any land they wanted. The money for the road construction was also given out. They did not care how much the Ning family could embezzle from it. None of the 150,000 mu of land was good. They were either the worst inferior land or the saline alkali soil. Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce acted swiftly. As soon as the land was rented, they would send people to plant cotton. Good land had a lot of cotton, but inferior land could still produce cotton. Even the saline alkali soil could be used to plant cotton. It was just a matter of how much cotton could be produced. The Ning family was waiting for an opportunity like this. The agreement they signed with Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce stated that they were inferior land. However, in the account book of the province, they were planning for an intermediate land. When they saw the people from the Chamber of Commerce going to plant cotton, they could not help but take action. They had not received any news that their property in Heian County was being attacked. They wrote a report of impeachment against Zhang Zhong and sent it to the Chamber of Commerce via an official courier. The reason was simple. No matter how good the cotton-padded clothes made by Daizi were, or how practical the yarn was, they still occupied the land used to grow food. The Ning family had specially arranged a banquet for this matter. Without the help of the pigeons, they had no idea that their family's businesses in Great Tang were being attacked. Zhang Xiaobao wanted to let the people who wanted to deal with the Zhang family know that they should directly deal with whoever they wanted to deal with, and not use the Zhang family's village as an opening. This time, he was determined to make a loss. Even if it was several times the loss, he was determined to completely destroy the Ning family. 10 days after the Ning family's letter was sent out, the cotton growers had already asked the local people to plant cotton around the rented fields. The biggest advantage here was that there was no need to consider too many seasonal factors. As long as they were planting, there was basically no problem at all. Although the yield might be affected, it would definitely not be a complete loss. If it was Hainan Island, it would be even better. If they had the ability to shorten the maturity time of the crops, it would not be a problem for them to grow 10 crops in a year. After planting the cotton as the wall, the people of the Chamber of Commerce no longer continued to plant cotton. Instead, they planted soybeans in the middle of the wall. Although the rented land was not good, it was still land after all, even if there was a lot of saline alkali soil. Zhang Xiaobao did not expect to have a big harvest in the first few years, let alone make money. In fact, in the first 2 or 3 years he had been constantly filling in money. Old Man Chang and Old Man Pai, who had been worried about the Zhang family, were finally relieved when they found out that soybeans were planted in the wall. So that's how it is. They're actually planting soybeans. No wonder they dared to rent the alkali soil. As long as it's not too serious, the soybeans won't die. It seems that all of this is a preparation to deal with the Ning family. The Ning family has probably already written an impeachment report. When the higher-ups send someone to investigate, the Ning family will be in trouble. Old Man Chang was very clear about the role of soybeans. Many people cultivated their own land. When the land was not good, they would casually plant some soybeans. It was better than wheat or rice, and they did not have to worry about it. That's right. The Ning family has no right to casually impeach others. Now everyone knows that the Ning family has always disliked Zhang Zhong. I guess Zhang Zhong can no longer be the provincial governor. The people sent by the imperial court to investigate will arrive in the second half of the year, when the taxes are paid. How much can Lu Zhou pay this year? How much can he pay? How much can he pay in Qinzhou? Comparing the two cases, not to mention that Zhang Zhong did not do anything wrong. Even if he did, the imperial court would pretend that they did not see it. If he did not do anything wrong, he would need at least 3 years to be a county magistrate. Zhang Zhong has only been here for a little more than a year, not even 2 years. Lu Zhou is not like before. He has started to make a lot of money. Many people are racking their brains to get to Lu Zhou. 6 magistrates, 1 provincial governor, 1 military registrar. No matter who wants to get them, they have to wait until Zhang Zhong leaves. In order to make Zhang Zhong give up his position, how many people do you think are willing to help Zhang Zhong deal with Ningzhongzi? Old Man Pai knew about politics. The Zhang family knew that it was impossible for them to stay for 3 years no matter what. That was why they kept investing to strengthen their position in the Chamber of Commerce. Before they left, they just happened to get rid of the Ning family. A family without an official position could only rely on business to wait for a chance to make a comeback. Unfortunately, their business was also affected by the Zhang family. If it was just the Zhang family's business between the clouds and the water and the sea and clouds here, the Zhang family might not be able to win against the Ning family. However, the Zhang family had joined forces with many other big businessmen to attack one person. In addition, the Zhang family had divided the benefits from the sandbox game, and the imperial court valued the Zhang family. The Zhang family had all the advantages, including the right time, the right place, and the right people. Not to mention the Ning family, even the aristocratic families in the capital could not compete with them alone. When he thought about this, Old Man Pai sighed with emotion. The Ning family has been in Lingnan for a long time. Do they really think that no one can deal with them? Compared to their stability, the Zhang family has been growing up in the midst of other people's schemes since Shuangzi. One is safe, one is dangerous. It is easy to see who is better. That's right. The most praiseworthy thing is that when the Zhang family is dealing with other people, they have never stopped trying to improve the lives of the local people. While doing practical things, they have also schemed against others. They have never written memorials to complain about how they were wronged, and they have never urged the imperial court to send out military equipment or food for disaster relief. they take care of everything themselves, and they can even bring a lot of benefits to the imperial court. No matter who it is, they will feel comfortable using this kind of person. However, I don't understand why the Zhang family is renting land in another province for 50 years. They are also growing beans and they are losing money every year. Are they doing this just to deal with the Ning family? When Old Man Chang agreed with Old Man Pai, he had an even bigger doubt in his heart. Old Man Pai also couldn't understand what the Zhang family was planning. If it were anyone else, he would also think that they were losing money every year. However, it seemed impossible for the Zhang family. This wasn't the first time that he had experienced the Zhang family's ability to make money. In the past, he had seen the Zhang family's plans. Every time they made a deal, they would make a lot of money. Just when people thought that they were going to lose money, they would make a lot of money in the end. While Old Man Pai and Old Man Chang were racking their brains to figure out how to make money, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were busy designing rooms for their younger brothers and sisters. The room that the younger brothers and sisters were living in was a bit big and too empty. They had to send more maidservants to accompany them. Especially at night, they couldn't put out the candles. Otherwise, when the babies woke up and started crying, they would have to spend a lot of time coaxing them. The crib was leaning against the corner of the room, and there was a circle of cloth dolls around it. Wang Wan deliberately used other people's children as an experiment. She connected the two rooms and placed a crib in the middle of the room. She didn't light the candles at night. As a result, when the baby woke up in the middle of the night, he cried for a full hour until his mother held him in her arms and fed him milk. Only then did he fall asleep peacefully. After changing the babies several times, the results were the same. Wang Wan finally believed Zhang Xiaobao's words. What children were most afraid of was darkness and loneliness. Of course, her younger brothers and sisters couldn't be treated like that. When they were placed in a corner, the room was always lit. There were also maidservants guarding them. When they woke up, they only cried a little. Sometimes they didn't even cry. They would open their eyes wide and look curiously. They would even giggle. They would be wrapped in cotton blankets. When they slept, they would appear to be very peaceful. It's really amazing, Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao when she thought of the experiment when she was drawing on the paper. What's so amazing about it? It's human nature. Not to mention children. Even if it were an adult, if they were placed on a bed in an empty room, they wouldn't be able to bear it if they didn't have a strong enough mental fortitude. The slope of your room is a little bigger. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan each had their own division of labor. The place Wang Wan designed for her younger brothers and sisters to exercise was not like the one she and Zhang Xiaobao had when they were more than 10 months old. It was a slope, and a woolen blanket was placed on top of it for her younger brothers and sisters to climb up or roll down from it. It was a very good exercise method. Zhang Xiaobao, on the other hand, tried his best to create an infinitely large playground in the limited space. He built a low partition with wooden boards at a height of 1 meter. There were a total of 3 levels. Each level had at least 4 gentle slopes that could be used to go up and down, so that the younger brothers and sisters could climb up and down. Each level had many interconnected forks, just like the passage in front of Zhuangzi that was made with piles of straw. However, this time there was no passage. There were small spaces, and in each space, there were toys that wouldn't hurt the younger brothers and sisters. When the time came, they would let them climb up and down to play. At each entrance, there would be bells that would ring when touched to cultivate the younger brothers and sisters' sense of direction. In many places, there were also doors that could be opened, and glass would be used to block them. It would be transparent, and it would also be convenient for people to clean up the younger brothers and sisters. If it weren't for their own younger brothers and sisters, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan wouldn't have bothered to do this. When the time came, such a house would be sent to the ship. Although the place was small, the craftsmanship was very refined. Just this house for the younger brothers and sisters to play in cost no less than 1,000 strings of coins. The carpets inside were all Western region cashmere carpets, and they had to ensure that the humidity was high. The toys made of glass and cotton were not expensive, and there were also all kinds of things made of fish glue that could be used to tear things apart. The world was so big that only Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's younger brothers and sisters could enjoy it. Even the children in the imperial palace couldn't expect to have such a good combination of play and exercise. The four little guys didn't know that from the time they were born, they had already been doted on by thousands of people. What Zhang Xiaobao was worried about now was how to create a space in the house that could be moved back and forth. It had to be able to move up and down, left and right, back and forth in small amounts. It was simple to move, but no matter how it moved, there would be a situation in the end, and that was that it would be separated from the place where it was connected by a certain distance. If it was separated, it would be easy to pinch the younger brothers and sisters. Wang Wan had designed the general framework, and also drew the place where the ocean ball was. She turned her head and saw that Zhang Xiaobao was holding his chin and worrying. She went over and saw the place where the house was supposed to move. After thinking for a while, she said, "Just hang the place where the house is supposed to move, 1 inch above the ground, and use a cloth to block it. Block it loosely, and the cloth won't be damaged when it moves. Make the same slope for them, and use a loose cloth to connect it. They can climb up along the cloth. Are you making this as a cradle? It's not bad. Add a few short pillows on top, and they can fall asleep when they are tired." "What cradle? I'm afraid that they will get seasick." "While there is still some time, let's make it first and let them get used to the process of moving while playing. It's about time. Let's quickly find someone to do it." Zhang Xiaobao drew a trampoline at the side and made the space on top bigger, using beast tendons to weave it. Following Zhang Xiaobao's orders, the craftsmen used all their skills and used the best mahogany as the base. After 4 days, a house that was 12 feet high, 3 feet wide, and 4 feet long was built. From the outside, except for the glass part, the rest of the house was relatively simple. However, if an adult could get in, they would know how gorgeous the interior was. Every part of the house was protected, except for velvet and satin, and each part had its own function. If one of the parts was taken out to sell, it would be worth dozens of strings of coins. Jiang Wang clan was stunned when she saw the house. Didn't Xiaobao and Cuckoo say that they were going to make a smaller house called a space for their younger brothers and sisters? How was it small? It was bigger than the houses that ordinary people lived in. It was just divided into several levels, and there was even a small swimming pool inside. "Husband, is it too big?" Jiang Wang clan pulled Zhang Zhong to look at the house together. "It's not big after divided into several levels." Zhang Zhong gestured with his hand. "Husband, this house costs more than 1,000 strings of coins just to buy the cashmere carpet. And that's not including our own glass, mirrors, and all kinds of gadgets. Aren't we spoiling them too much?" Jiang Wang clan calculated the price of the glass, mirrors, and other things, and came up with a rough figure. They could buy it with 10,000 strings of coins. If they didn't include the design fee that Xiaobao and Cuckoo said, 10,000 strings of coins would definitely not be considered expensive by the aristocratic families or the palace. If they included the most difficult design fee, it was estimated that it would cost at least 15,000 strings of coins. Before the 4 little guys were born, they specially made a delivery room, and after they were born, they made a house for them. They were only 3 months old, and the money spent on them was already more than 30,000 strings of coins. Even the emperor's son didn't spend so much money when he was 3 months old, right? This didn't include the various precious medicines prepared for them, the full-time medical doctor who was on call 24 hours a day, the clothes made for them, the cows raised for them, and other auxiliary things. According to the calculation method of the son and daughter-in-law, the amount of manpower used in a certain aspect was equal to the value that this manpower could create in the outside world. Then, how much was the 8 5-star ranked maidservants worth? They surrounded the little guys all day long, and according to the value created, it was a lot more. Zhang Zhong narrowed his eyes and nodded, saying, "I'm relieved. This means that Xiaobao and Cuckoo are good to their younger brothers and sisters. Today, they are willing to use tens of thousands of strings of coins to make things for their younger brothers and sisters. In the future, they won't care about giving hundreds of thousands of strings of coins to their younger brothers and sisters, so they won't fight for the family property." "That's true, but I'm afraid that before the 4 kids are old enough to fight for the family property, Xiaobao and Cuckoo will have already spent hundreds of thousands of strings of coins on them. If the 4 kids are uncomfortable on the boat, I guess Xiao Bao and Cuckoo will specially make a big boat for them. There's nothing that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo can't do. The Jiangwang clan was really distressed about the money. She never thought that her son and daughter-in-law would build such a small space house for their younger brothers and sisters. It turned out that the small space referred to the space inside, and not the overall space outside. Zhang Zhong didn't care how much money was spent, as long as Xiao Bao and Cuckoo cared about their younger brothers and sisters. He comforted his wife. The cost is not high. It's not like you don't know glass. You can easily make it by burning some stones. So what if they make a boat? Which eldest son or eldest daughter can treat their younger brothers and sisters like this? My family can. Isn't it just money? When the rented land is better, we can earn more money. Who is as calculative as our Xiao Bao and Cuckoo? So what if it's saline alkali soil? The serious areas should be washed twice with water, and the less serious areas should be planted with beans. When the time comes, the beans should be left to rot in the field. After 2 or 3 years, the bad areas should be better. Then, with all kinds of fertilizers, the important role of the white fold beans will be known by the imperial court. No one will say anything about planting them in large quantities. Such a long-term plan. How can ordinary people think of it? When Zhang Zhong said these words, he was very proud. When others thought that the Chamber of Commerce was losing money, he also thought so at first. Later, he couldn't help but call his son and daughter-in-law to his side to ask. Only then did he know about their long-term plans. As for whether they had other plans in the future, if his son didn't say anything, he couldn't ask either. When the two were talking, the craftsman brought something over. A wheel made of stainless steel was wrapped with a thick layer of fish glue mixed with hemp and tree bark called fiber. A half-inch thick iron plate was fastened together. Zhang Zhong and Jiang Wang clan knew that this was a shock absorber. It was very difficult to make, mainly because that kind of iron was hard to find. Just this little thing alone cost a few hundred strings of coins. On top of the axle of the wheel, there was also a device for blowing wind between the clouds and the water. The front part was left to be pulled by a horse. Needless to say, they would be able to move around in this house in the future. In addition to the small stainless steel wheel that could be pushed by people, there was also a big wheel with a carriage bar. The craftsman greeted Zhang Zhong and his wife and ran to the side of the house to get busy. When they were installing the wheel, they spread another kind of gum in the cracks of the house. Then they put a pig's bubble on the top and wrapped it with a layer of leather. Then they nailed a fold to the 4 eaves of the house and fixed a steel bar with a small wheel on the fold to follow the pattern of the house. What are you doing? Zhang Zhong couldn't think of the function of these things. In reply to Master, the young master and young lady are worried that if the house falls, it will hurt the young master and young lady inside. So they use the fold to fix the steel bar. As long as the house falls, the steel bar will open and hold the house. The pig's bubble on the top is to prevent the house from falling into the water, so it is coated with gum to seal it. Even if the house falls in, there is no need to worry about leakage. The wheel is naturally easy to move, and with the shock absorber iron plate, the young master and young lady won't feel uncomfortable inside. The craftsman in the inner courtyard smiled and introduced the various functions. In fact, he was very envious of the young master and young lady. They were lucky to be born in a good family and have a house to play in. Zhang Zhong nodded. He also felt that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo had done a good job. They had considered everything that could be considered. However, he thought of something and asked, if the air inside is used up, won't the children suffocate to death? Ah, used up. Master, how long will it take for the air to be used up? If such a big house is used up, the young master and young lady will suffocate to death. The servants of the Zhang family and Wang family won't need to live anymore. The people of the vigorous protection team will commit suicide. The 4 children won't suffocate to death even if they stay in there for 10 days. If they can't be rescued, they will starve to death first. In fact, the craftsman's leader had thought of this before. He even asked the young master and young lady. However, the young master said, is there no one to take care of my younger siblings? Will the house fall into the water by itself? Will the rescue take half a month? Then the people of the Zhang family and Wang family will die first. The guards will be the first to die. That's right. with the capability of the vigorous protection Team Zero. If they can't save the children, then the existence of the Zhang family and Wang family is meaningless. Zhang Zhong's face turned red. He felt that his question was too stupid. How could such a thing happen? Besides, this house was made of wood. There was nothing heavy in it and it was sealed well. If it fell into the water, it would float on the water. It could be used as a boat. How could there be an accident? After the craftsman's leader answered this question, he asked someone to bring in a cross-shaped frame made of stainless steel. He measured it, as if he was going to put it inside. This time, before Zhang Zhong asked, he directly said, "Master, this is to be put in the house. When the time comes, a strong string will be used to pull out the net. The walls inside will be thickened with cotton. There will be a separate net connected to the frame in each room. No matter which end of the frame hits the ground first, it won't break." The young master and young lady said that the frame must be intact even if they fall from a height of 20 feet. When the time comes, no matter which room the young master and young lady play in, they won't fall to death. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.